Mass Effect, Kotor, Diablo, and the guilt of playing video games. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 256 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name's Garrett Drake. I'm joined online by Jacob Alka.
Good morning, gentlemen.
And Preston Pugh.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Ah, yes. It's a fine, in fact, stunning Sunday morning here in Atlanta, Georgia. A great day to talk about video games. The sun is shining. There are few clouds in the sky. It's also a great day to be outside and enjoy the weather, but, you know, we got work to do, gentlemen, and it's nothing short of a pleasure as always. Jacob, you're looking mighty fine. I can see you, but I can't see Preston, unfortunately. He can't find his webcam, so Preston is the faceless man, like the Creed song today. And, yeah, I'm excited. It's good to see you guys again. How's everything going?
Gary, you know a lot more about Creed than almost anyone that I've met. Is that intentional?
I'm pretty knowledgeable on Creed, yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about
still,
that.
I completely understand the joke and the hilarity of Creed as an entity, but at the same time, I'm a fan. Like, I can totally go along with the joke because it is hilarious, but at the same time, I'm a fan. It's Creed, the duality of being a Creed fan is like understanding the joke, but also enjoying their music.
Despite the joke.
Is Creed the band that does the With Arms Wide Open song?
Yes.
That is just great.
Scott Stapp.
The most important song.
Mm-hmm. Seen Creed live once. So I actually seen him twice, technically.
That's awesome.
So
I haven't seen them at all. Honestly, I didn't even know they were a thing until I met you.
Yeah, dude, they've been around a long time. Well, they were. They're not really a band anymore, but they had quite the legacy.
They left their mark on the world.
Yes, yes, they did. You guys ever heard Scott Stapp's song that he wrote for the Marlins?
Mm-mm. The baseball team?
You guys. Yeah. It'll blow your minds.
I don't know if I want to hear that.
Yeah, you'll love it. If anyone likes making fun of Creed, just look up Scott Stapp Marlins, and you won't be disappointed.
Garrett, there was you know those Too Mad streams where people will submit clips to try and make them laugh to win money?
Yeah.
There was one a few months ago I was watching where the same guy kept sending in the Arms Wide Open music video. And he was spending like $15 or $20 every single time just to get him to watch it. It's truly hilarious.
Oh my goodness, a sweet doggy. Gentlemen, how you been? What have you been up to?
What about you, Preston? I want to hear from you.
Just been working, honestly. Doing that and playing video games and in any spare time that I have.
Wait, you've been playing video games? I have too.
Whoa, that's crazy, man. We should talk about it.
I can't wait to.
Do you just want to start a podcast and talk about games?
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick. Yeah, I haven't been playing as much as I would like to, but I want to play. I know we talk about all the time on here how, we're either in, funks where there's nothing we want to play or can find to play or whatever, but I have so many things that I want to dive into, and it's like when I sit down at night to play something, I can't decide. I spend like half the time trying to figure out what I want to play. So that's definitely becoming an issue, but I've made a list of things that are games that I want to complete. So I'm just trying to knock those out because there are some releases in the nearby future that I want to jump into and not have my backlog dragging me down. So that's what I've been trying to do these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have a backlog anymore. Like, there might be some games that I missed that I might come back to one day, but I don't know. Like, at this point, I've missed so many games that I wanted to play that I don't even know if it's worth having a list. Maybe Garrett's sort of in the same boat. I'm not sure. But, yeah. I've been playing a couple things, but I've been playing them a lot, so I'm sure.
My addiction to trophies has been renewed, I guess, because there was a time where I was playing everything exclusively on PC, and I never got completely rid of the trophy bug. It just was subdued a little bit, but it has come roaring back now, and
It's that
I have
PS5.
I have games on my backlog that I've already like played and completed on PC, and I'm thinking like, well, man, I've already like I know the insides and outs of these games, so I should just go through them again on PlayStation just to get the platinum. So, kind of like Nier Automata, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There's a few on my list, but yeah, like I said, games I've already, even 100%ed on Steam and stuff, but I just for some reason have the urge to play through them again on PlayStation just to get those trophies. So
I don't have that calling personally, but I'm sure it's.
I wish I didn't have that calling because I probably should be playing games that I have not completed yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I think it's a good thing. Well, it's not like it's a good and a bad thing because trophies give a lot of people reasons to keep playing games, which I think is good because where otherwise you would just potentially just not play games anymore because you don't have anything to sort of drive you, for some people, I don't know, but others, it can be like sort of controlling or take away from the enjoyment if you sort of like obsess over it too much, right?
Yeah, it's a minor obsession. And it does annoy me. Like I'm back into playing Final Fantasy 14 again. I pretty much played that all day yesterday. Such a fantastic and addicting game.
Remind us what class you're playing?
I'm a dragoon.
Okay.
I'm a dragoon, but I have a samurai class as well that I used to switch back and forth between, but I mainly just kind of play as a dragoon now. But I'm trying to get through Heaven's Sword. And
you've been trying for years.
I know, but I definitely put a dent in it yesterday. That is for sure. But anyways, in relation to the whole trophy thing, I was thinking like, man, I should buy all these expansions on PlayStation just to throw my character over there and start unlocking trophies. And then they just announced the new expansion a few days ago, called Endwalker, I believe. Something, I don't know.
It's Endwalker.
Okay. And I was thinking, man, should I get this on PlayStation or PC? And that is just an internal debate that I wish I wasn't having with myself, because at the end of the day, who cares? Like at the end of the day, nobody cares about the trophies but me. And I have this I just wish I didn't care about them, honestly, because they drive me insane to an extent. Just like seeing that, 100% or platinum trophy on my profile, it's like it has to be something like an OCD nature inside of me to where I have to get it, or else it drives me crazy.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said like every time I've been popping trophies in Persona 5 Royal. I've been playing that. And every time one of those trophies pops, I'm like, ooh, it feels good. I can't wait till I get my next one.
Dude,
maybe I should chase one right now.
Platinum that game, it is extremely easy.
Can you do it in one playthrough?
Yes.
What's the hardest trophy?
Defeating the Reaper.
Who's the Reaper?
The Reaper, no. The Reaper, he's in like all the Persona games. If you just run around in mementos for an extended amount of time, the Reaper will just come, and he's just a super hard boss you have to fight.
Gotcha.
But that's probably the hardest one. But yeah, the Royal trophies are, way, way easier than the originals.
Is there a difficulty trophy?
Nope.
Is there?
You don't even have to max out all your confidants. You just have to max out like one for the trophy.
Really?
Yeah, It's like max out one, get in a relationship, and then there's make sure all 5 of your social stats are maxed, but there's an additional semester so there's even more time to do that. So I think I had all my social stats maxed out like before I was even at the final palace. Like if you're kind of just like aware of what you're doing and are making sure you're just not wasting, any nights to where you could be bumping something up, it's fairly easy to get the platinum. Like you don't have to get every persona, there's no crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. One thing that I know I'm kind of like jumping turns here, but I don't like that you have to to rank up, I think it's Justine and her sister.
Yeah.
Inside of whatever it's called, the jail cell or whatever. Like you have to
Velvet
present them.
Room.
Yes, thank you. You have to present them certain personas with a certain ability. And I hate having to like think about that and like because like I don't think I found one of the personas that I need to give them, and I don't know where to find it, and I'm too lazy to go look up where to find it. And then like I'm guessing it's going to be in Mementos somewhere, so I'm going to have to go farm for that. And I don't know. I just don't really want to deal with it. So am I missing a whole lot by not doing that confident?
Not really. There is one trophy tied to them where you have to get them, I think, to level 3 or 4 to where they can. No, it's not. And if you just look up a guide on how to get, the particular persona you need and where to get the particular skill, like you said, they're all in Mementos, so you can spend like and it's not bad grinding because even these guides have it's segmented out to where, like, oh, if you need this persona, he's on this particular floor. So it's not like you're just mindlessly running through them, beating your head against the wall trying to find a particular one. And then there's also, you can, fuse the persona. So you can like even go through your collections and, respawn the ones that you need and combine them together.
Yeah. So, just costs money, correct?
Yeah, but it's not a lot. That's the thing about Persona. Granted, I've not played at like an extremely high level that I've seen some people on YouTube play, where you might need like a ton of money, but money has never been an issue to me.
Especially in Royal, like because they like change Mementos pretty significantly. Yeah,
like I am loaded at all times in that game. So granted, I'm playing on normal difficulty too. So like I said, maybe on the merciless or harder difficulty, maybe money's harder to come by, or you're just having to buy so many things to be able to progress that, it's different. But in my experience, I've never been hurting for money. But anyways, it's not that big of a deal to level them up 3 or 4 times. So,
but trophies.
Yes, trophies. They are they bring me, some of the greatest joy, and they also drive me crazy as well. But anywho, that's pretty much how my week's been.
Yeah. Garrett, what have you been up to, buddy?
Let's jump into what we've been playing, since that's probably the bulk of what we'll be talking about.
Sure.
I've been playing Control a little bit. I've played about 2 hours.
I assume you're playing on PS5 where it's free?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It was perfect timing, as I was near the top of my to-do list was Control, and came at the perfect time. So, and obviously one, because it was free on PlayStation Plus, but also just because I heard Preston told me I took advantage of the DualSense controller. So really enjoying that. A lot of Apex, still winning from time to time with Zach and our buddy Logan. I've still never won a Warzone match. I've played.
But you haven't won one at all?
No, I've probably played over 100 Warzone matches. I've never won. I've come in second plenty of times, but I've never won.
That's sad.
That and just watching stuff. So that's all I've been doing. Hanging out with my dog.
Your doggy.
That's about it.
Denny boy.
Yep. So that's it for me. Nothing exciting.
What are your thoughts on Control so far?
It's cool. So I don't think I've played enough to be like blown away by it, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
So
the more abilities that you get, the combat, obviously gets a lot better. But towards the end of the game, you were like a straight up superhero. Like you're levitating, like throwing.
I
crap
really dig
everywhere.
the sound design of the game, especially the telekinesis sound design is pretty sick.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely very intrigued by it so far.
For sure.
Are you still playing Persona?
I haven't played in a while. I got to really talk myself to get back into it.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you leave off from?
Beat the first palace.
Oh, wow. I thought you had like gotten to where I am right now in the third palace.
That just breaks my heart. You just said you had to talk yourself into doing it, Garrett.
that game really exhausts me after a while, so I have to take breaks.
It's
just
so
all the
relaxing,
talking.
though.
It's just constant talking, and then running 3 feet, and then talking to someone else for 4 hours, and like mini games, and it's I like it a lot. What I appreciate the most is just the characters, the story, and the music, and the visuals. But the gameplay is like what I have to talk myself to get into, because I find that exhausting after a while.
Yeah,
but once I get back into it, I can play for like 10 hours.
That's
but
the thing
after those 10 hours, I'm like, I need to do something else.
That's the thing about Persona. Like, I think you have a good point, because sometimes the game can feel a little exhausting if you're doing if you're just doing the palace, sure, the enemies have a lot of different weaknesses, and you see a lot of different personas, but a lot of it can get kind of draining because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. But I think where the game's at its strongest is when you're sort of jumping from going on, dates, or hanging out with friends through confidants, or going to mementos one day, or just I think through all the different kinds of interactions that you can have, or the different styles, or the things that you can do in the game sort of break that up. But when you sort of get stuck in those moments of, okay, I got to spend this 2 hours going through this palace so I don't waste a day to going in for another day to finish the other half of it, I kind of know what you're saying. But
I'll probably play it today, honestly, because I'm kind of in the mood for it after hearing you guys talk about it.
Yeah, I almost started playing it this morning before the podcast, but I needed to get something done instead, unfortunately. But I played it last night.
I know I really shouldn't say anything because I've been playing Royal for 8 months at this point now. So I do kind of understand where you're coming from in terms of having to, hype myself to get back into it.
Yeah. I think the first palace is also the worst one. So maybe the second one is. I don't know. But I've only done 3 so far.
Yeah, I think the second one, Madarame's Palace, is probably my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But from that point on, I thoroughly enjoy, all of them, especially the one that you just beat, Jacob. The third one, that one is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually just saw what's her name, Futaba, in her room for the first time. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's the next one. If I'm not mistaken.
That is the fourth palace. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Dang it!
I know, but yeah, that one is great too. Man, such a good man. Palace 3 and 4 and 6, just the soundtracks in those palaces are so freaking good. 5 is okay. It's just a little too techno-y, if that's a word, for my taste. Yeah. But the other ones are just so freaking good.
Yeah. Now, I think one of the things I like a lot that I never thought I did was I like how each time they send out a calling card, it's very it's very cool how they sort of post it and everyone sees it in a unique way, and even the person that they're sending it to sees it in a unique way. And I don't know, I just think it's a cool way to sort of tell a story, even though it's it's just this reality that has 2 different realities. That's, I don't know, am I making any sense? I don't feel like I am. Sure. I don't know, I just think the whole calling card thing is cool. And of course the music that goes along with it is awesome.
For sure.
I guess I can sort of talk about how I've been enjoying the game real quick. I mean, obviously, I was a huge fan of the original Persona, and you guys inspired me to play Royal, as we were talking about it a lot, I think on the last podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And I went ahead and took advantage of the deal, bought it for $30. And I've been playing it pretty consistently, a few hours every day or every couple days, and I've made my way up to the 3rd palace. And the game's pretty much the same as you would expect, as I'm sure we've already discussed on here. But I really enjoyed the addition of the new character, Kasumi. I think she's awesome, and I look forward to seeing how she's more woven into the story of the original game. I'm enjoying Akechi a lot more so far. I've started to notice that you can hang out with him a lot more than you could in the previous game, or the previous version of the game. I'm pretty sure. I might be mistaken on that.
I think you are correct.
Because I think you could hang out with him at some point, but it wasn't till later on. But maybe I'm wrong. What else is new? The clinic guy in school.
Maruki.
Yeah, he's fine, I guess. I know it's important to rank him up, according to you, Preston, because
he is very important to rank up.
Because I think you miss out on the 3rd semester if you don't.
Yes, if you do not get his confidant up to level 8 by the end of November, you will just get the original ending of the game.
Yeah, that would break my heart, dude.
Yeah, and that's kind of my biggest complaint about Royal, is just to I can't imagine somebody putting so much time into this game, and if just for some reason they just weren't as interested in Maruki and just completely ignored him the entire game or whatever, and then just missed out on the final semester and final palace. And like I've said on here and I've told you multiple times, both of them are absolutely fantastic. They are so freaking good. So yeah, that would just be so. I just would hate for somebody to miss out on that. So I kind of wish they would either force your interaction with Maruki or just figured out a way to make that content just, unskippable or missable for anybody that's playing the game. And, no spoilers, but it 100% makes sense why you have to build your confidant with Maruki, because he is extremely important to the overall ending or the final palace in the game. And but besides that, I think Maruki makes complete sense. And that was kind of like my initial feelings towards him, is that slight spoilers for the first palace, but Kamoshida, just what he did to so many students at the school, in terms of like Shiho trying to kill herself, constantly like, sexually abusing or mistreating, however you want to put it, and so many other,
and destroying like the track team.
Yeah, exactly. Like he just did so much stuff that like it makes perfect sense for the school to want to bring in a counselor to be able to talk with people, because in the original game they kind of just move on. Doesn't move on. Like her entire confidant line is built around her trying to like cope with how she thinks she failed, like Shiho and stuff. And sorry,
Ryuichi too, kind of, because he's trying to like reform the track team, right? Or reunite with his old friends, or
I know we're
like that.
getting a little tiny bit vaguely spoilery, but anyways, what I'm trying to mean is like them adding the counselor, I think just makes perfect sense with everything that went on. And and obviously, like I said, how they tie it up at the end with everything is just brilliant. So definitely, like I told you over text a few days ago, I very much look forward to discussing that palace with you and stuff. It's just so cool.
Yeah, but
I've still yet to beat the game. I'm at the final. Who knows? The ending could piss me off so much, and I could take back everything I've said. But I'm at the very end. I've beaten the final palace. I just have to go do the calling card. My plan is to beat it like the day before Strikers comes out, and then just go right into Strikers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice, dude.
So I have not played any of that game, but I have been playing Persona 5 Dancing in the Starlight.
Oh.
Yeah, so I saw on a PSN sale they had the entire collection: Persona 3 Dancing in the Moonlight, Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and Persona 5 Dancing in the Starlight. On sale as a bundle. So I downloaded all three of them, and I'm pretty close to platinuming the Persona 5 version. But it's a fun little rhythm game, and the music's so good. It's cool to play a rhythm mini game to the soundtrack.
Who's the best dancer?
Definitely not Futaba. I want to punch her in the freaking face, dude. She is the most annoying dancer of all time. I like Futaba, but she's definitely not my favorite character, and just like the way they like make her out in this game, like her quirkiness and stuff, just makes me want to launch my fist through my TV. It is so annoying. Haru is kind of annoying as well, how she dances, but definitely I like Makoto and Rin and Anne the best, probably. Or On, my bad. Morgana's pretty funny too. On, my bad. Lady On.
I go back and forth on whether I like Morgana.
Dude, don't do that to me.
I do. Like he's always popping up, like telling me stuff. Like go away for a second.
Because he's your friend, Jacob.
Can I be friends with whatever he is?
Dude, don't become a Morgana hater like Kyle.
I always have.
Don't
been.
do
I
that.
always low key have been.
No, Garrett,
That's-
you need to defend Morgana. I know you like him.
I haven't experienced Morgana past 25 hours of that game, so I can't say what it's like beyond that.
I love Morgana.
But within the first 25 hours, I'm a fan.
Yeah, he's great. He's like supposed to be like that though.
I
Like
know.
he's he's a very confused little cat boy.
Yep.
So
He's doing the best he can.
he's got a lot going on. Yeah, but
Lady
yeah,
on.
he's a good dancer. So one funny thing about that game is, I'm purely playing it just because the soundtrack's great and it's a fairly easy platinum. But I spent probably an hour last night trying to get a trophy that would not pop, and it was driving me absolutely crazy. And then I just had this epiphany. I was like, son of a bitch, I bet you I already have this trophy. And I looked
Oh,
at my
no.
list and I already freaking had it. So I
Yikes.
literally just wasted an hour just like bashing my head against the wall for something that I already unknowingly had already done.
Preston, this is what we were
So-
just talking about.
Yeah, I know.
These trophies are driving you insane.
So, once I finish that game, I'll probably take a break before I jump into any of the other two, just because that is a lot of rhythm games going on. But
a lot of rhythm for one man.
Yeah, I'm probably going to jump into 4 because I'm not super knowledgeable of Persona 3's soundtrack, minus the fight song, just because it's a massive meme.
I
But,
really want to play like the original 4 game, but I'm like kind of scared to like, because aren't all the dungeons or the palaces like, or whatever they are, aren't
It's-
they like all
it's-
randomly generated?
Yeah, it's like mementos.
Yeah. See,
Every palace is like mementos with a new, skin.
see,
much.
Mementos is good in Royal, but in the original Persona 5, I did not like it that much. So I don't know if
Yeah.
I want to play a whole game like that.
That's what I'm dreading most about Persona 5 is that I just hated Mementos so much when I first played it. There's
The
nothing
best-
worse than me than just freaking grinding in anything.
Well,
It's
I mean,
just
the good thing is you don't
aggravating.
have to really grind in
They
Royal.
improved mementos to the extent where if you are higher leveled than the shadows, you don't even have to fight them. You literally
Mhm.
just run them over with your
Mhm.
car. So you
It's
can
a
just be,
Ryuji unlock, I think.
yeah, you can just be flying through mementos, just like running over shadows and getting the experience still. So instead of fighting to grind, you could just be I did that. I just went through the early levels of mementos and was just running over everything, and I was like leveling up like every minute it seemed like.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely much improved.
hmm
But so I was about to.
I mean, the
spoil
best
something.
thing that you can do is like save up 4 or 5 memento requests and then just do them all in one.
Yeah.
sitting.
Yeah. Because I mean, you eventually do have to get to the bottom of mementos.
Yeah.
To progress the story at some point. But it's definitely not as bad in this version. But Persona 4 is still really fantastic.
I'm
Like
sure it
it's
is, yeah. A lot of
it's
people tell me that it's better than 5 in some ways.
I don't agree with that. And I played Persona 4 before 5, so it's not like I kind of went, backwards and just have a, I like 5 because that was my first one or whatever. Like 4 was my first one, and I don't know. I think it all comes down to which characters you kind of, vibe with the best.
Yeah.
And 4 has really awesome characters, like Yukiko and Chie, and those are 2 great characters that I really, really like. But I think just the overall cast, just playing through Royal again recently, I just have come to appreciate them a lot more. Like Yusuke, my first time through, I kind of didn't like too much, but this playthrough, I thought he was hilarious. Like there are so many things he said that I was like, laughing out loud at. Haru still, she's still whatever. She's always kind of been whatever, but like she's fine. But out of all the characters, there's always going to be 1 or 2 that you particularly don't like as much as the others. So.
And then some have the disadvantage of you don't spend as much time with them because they come at the end portion of the game. So
Yeah, for sure. I don't know
that
if you have
disadvantage.
noticed, but they did introduce Haru way earlier than in the original game. Like they'll kind of show her in the hallways, kind of walking around and stuff.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
her at all.
Yeah, she's there. Because
Interesting.
I believe in the original version, she just literally appears out of thin air. So they kind of, put her in just so you kind of see her and stuff earlier on in the game. So she, just doesn't, poof right when her, part in the game comes up.
Yeah.
But
We've talked a lot about Persona 5 Royal.
yeah, we did.
But have you played anything else, Preston?
I played the dancing games, like I said. I
Right.
played a lot more Valhalla. I've
Okay.
actually been enjoying that game a lot more. It's just a good podcasting game.
Yeah. Do you think it's
And,
because you're like kind of getting trophies too?
Yeah, probably. I'm kind of, seeing progression made as well, which is, the carrot at the end of the stick that I needed for that game. And the combat's getting better. The more and more I unlock, the more armor and stuff I get, the, just the funner it's becoming. So yeah, I'm just enjoying that game a lot more. I started Control as well, played about an hour or two. I'll probably finish that at some point. Like I said, I played a lot of Final Fantasy 14 yesterday. That's pretty much the only thing I played. And, that game's fantastic. Still overwhelming. I have well over like 300 hours in that game, and I still kind of don't know what I'm doing. At least it feels like I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
There's
you take
just
really long breaks from it.
Yeah, but there is so much in that game. It's just absolutely insane. And
It's
I
an
just
MMO. Come on.
yeah, I know. I keep telling myself, I'm like, dude, like all you need to do is just progress through the story. That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about, joining a company or buying a house or, making my dude look cool. Like I just need to catch up at this point. So especially like there's a new expansion even coming back. So I'm trying to get to Shadowbringers, and I'm probably not even going to get to that by the time Endwalker comes out. So I'm going to, be back behind again. So
Disgraceful.
yeah, I know. But yeah, I've been chipping away at that. Man, is there anything else that I played? I'm gonna bring up my list here. Hades. I've been playing Hades as well. That's a fantastic podcast game as well. Very addicting. There's pretty much every time I'm about to log off, go to bed or whatever, I end up playing like 2 or 3 more rounds of that. So yeah, that's very good.
I mean, that's like the story of me playing Persona 5 Royal. Like I'll like go on one little confidant, hang out with someone, then like I'll be like, I'm saving right after this. And then I'll like nighttime will come. Then I'll be like, oh, I need to go hang out with the politician dude. So I'll go do that. And then I don't save. Next day comes and I'm like talking to someone at the train station. Then I'm going to class. I'm answering a question. And I just keep going on this cycle where I forget to stop playing.
Yeah, I hear you.
But sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're fine. I think that's for the most part all that I've been playing. So hopefully one of these days I can actually start checking, some of those games off my list. Granted, 2 of them, 14 and Hades are 2 games that I probably won't be beating in the near future. But yeah, I'm mainly trying to beat as many games as possible before Strikers comes out, because once that's out, that's what I'm planning on dedicating most of my time to. So the plan is the Monday before Strikers comes out is when I'm going to beat Royal, then just go straight into that.
Nice, dude.
That's the
when
plan.
exactly does that come out?
Strikers comes out not in 3 weeks from Tuesday, I believe, the 25th.
Okay.
Which I have
Not too much longer.
No, it's right. 23rd, my bad. Yep, 23rd. So 2 good games coming out this month: Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and Persona 5 Strikers.
There it is.
There it is.
And to cap off this, what we've been playing, I have, of course, been keeping up with the WoW grind. I got to the point where my rogue now looks freaking awesome. I have every character in the Shadowlands joins a covenant, and once you complete the story, you unlock like a cosmetic set for your class, or not for your class, but for your armor type. And my guy looks so cool. I look like this vampire deathlord dude. And I race changed to a gnome, so my guy's like this big, but he's like a little vampire dude, and he looks cool as heck. So I'm having a lot of fun just playing WoW right now, which is, obviously, like I've been playing the game for a long time, but it's even funner when you look cool and you're also doing a lot of damage. So, yeah, just really enjoying it still. But just grinding the raid with my guild. I think we're about halfway through on heroic, which is the second highest difficulty. We won't do the highest difficulty because it's pretty hardcore. We have some pretty casual people in our guild that may struggle with some of those mechanics. So
kick them out.
I'm in a very casual guild. I don't have authority like that, but I like being in this guild because I can optimize to the point that I want to and perform at one of the top few spots in terms of performance in the raid. So that gives me just enough self-esteem to keep playing and not like get bored or want to find a new guild. So that's sort of how I like it. But that's it for me, boys. How about we jump into this news?
Well, I did want to say one more thing.
Please.
Another game I'd been wanting to get into is Yakuza Like a Dragon. That game has just looked very interesting to me. So it was on sale on a GameStop's website used for like $30. So I decided to just pull the trigger because I know that it's getting a PS5 update early March. So I just thought maybe the price might go up for a little bit, because it gets an update. So I just wanted to jump in now for $30. And those nice people over at GameStop sent me a brand new copy, Steelbook edition, for the price I paid for pre-owned. So I just wanted to give a nice shout out to GameStop. Everything seems to be going good for them right now, with all the stocks and stuff. So I guess they just seemed happy enough to send me a brand new copy for some reason.
They could spare the change after the crazy few weeks they've had.
I guess so. But anywho, that was the last thing I have to say.
Yeah, I think I watched someone play a good portion of that game on Twitch, and I've always loved how the Yakuza games are just so wacky and ridiculous.
Dude, this one
they
looks
love doing it.
Insane. Apparently, the main character thinks he's in a Dragon Quest game, which is why it's turn-based or something. Like it's just the stuff I've read and seen just look absolutely wild. So yeah, I'm excited to jump into that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but I've never actually played one myself. But maybe that'll change one day.
I played a lot of Yakuza 0, and it was very fun, but it's just very long, and I think something else came out. There's like 90 Yakuza games, so it's kind of hard to jump in and get dedicated to it, because I feel like I'd have to spend just like an entire year only playing Yakuza games to get through anything. But Yakuza 7 is like it's a completely different character, it's a different type of game, and I've heard that that's a jumping point that anybody could really jump in at. So that's kind of why I'm interested. Speaking of a game like that, sorry, one more small thing. Have you ever heard of the Ys series? I believe that's what it's called. It's just spelled YS. It's a very I don't want to say very old, but there's 9 mainline games in the series, and the 9th one just came out, I think last week or something. But podcast that I listen to quite a bit called Frame Trap from Easy Allies, which the entire podcast is them just talking about games that they played for the most part. So it's like 3 hours of...
That's kind of like this podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like half of this podcast.
It's 3 or 4 different guys kind of bring 2 games to the table, and they just talk just super in depth about them. And one of the games one of the guys brought up was this Ys 9, and it sounded so cool the way he was talking about it. So I looked up some gameplay, and it looks freaking awesome. It just looks like a really solid action RPG where like you just have like a party of people that get like these monster powers, and just you have to swap out party members to deal damage to the enemies and stuff. And just the way he was talking about the story, it sounded very interesting. So I threw that on my list of games that I would like to play. And, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm just in a mood to play stuff. So just everything is sounding really interesting to me right now. So I have like 3 JRPGs that I really want to play right now, which of course means I will never finish any of them. So
I'm watching a trailer for Ys 9 right now.
Yeah. But looks really cool. And like I said, listening to him talk about it for like 30, 40 minutes, it sounded very interesting, and kind of like Final Fantasy. You don't need to know anything else about the other Ys games. This is just kind of just its own thing.
Yeah.
But always heard about the series, so maybe 9, you know, might be a good jumping point for me.
I like their armor a lot.
It looks cool. The combat looks cool. But I definitely think that's a game that in a few months it'll probably be, you know, $30-$40. So I might wait until you know, gets a little bit of a price drop before I jump in, because I definitely have a lot to play at this point. So, you know, I'm not dying for something new just yet.
Yeah, why don't you try finishing one of those games before you start another one?
I know. There definitely is a drought coming after March, I think. After March, or March in general, dude. Nothing comes out until the end of March. Monster Hunter Rise. And then Nier Replicant comes out at the end of April. So there's, you know, I'll probably dabble in Rise, but that's almost like a good 2 months of nothing really coming out. So I should be able to definitely put a dent in some games during that time period. So
my next venture will be Demon's Souls.
Dude, I keep forgetting about that game. I have to play that too. That's on my list.
Too much to play.
Yes, it is. Anywho, sorry to keep derailing us here, but I think we're ready for the news now.
The people love to hear what you're playing.
Hey,
or what you're interested in.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, guys, let's jump into our stories here. What's our first one, Garrett? I accidentally closed the notes. Okay, it's open again.
That's a problem with us being inconsistent with this podcast. A lot of our news is kind of like everyone's heard it, so we're going to just glaze over it and just give our thoughts briefly, I think. But Vicarious Visions was basically merged into assisting with Blizzard projects, and
That's right.
Notably, according to Bloomberg, they are reportedly remaking Diablo 2, which is exciting because they've nailed every other remake they've done, and now Diablo 2 has been long requested to be remade, including the three of us. I feel like at some point have said that.
Yeah, I feel like it's been rumored for a long time, but this is the most that we've really heard about it.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Question is, will it be out before Diablo 4? I would hope so.
Most
because
certainly.
I've always believed that this would be the perfect bridge between, of course, Diablo 3, but waiting for Diablo 4 is to remake and replay Diablo 2, of which I've never played, but I know it's just very highly regarded, so that'd be sick. Yep. And in other Blizzard news, there is no Diablo 4 this year or Overwatch 2, so those are both 2022.
Yep. I'm a little surprised about Overwatch 2 not coming out this year.
Me too. I was telling Preston this, or we were talking about it yesterday. I'm like, what on earth could they possibly have to do more than what they've probably already done for this game?
I heard someone else have this opinion, but I'm wondering if, like, because of the reception that people had in terms of like, oh, it's just like they're adding a campaign and a couple more characters and it's a sequel. Like, like, are they actually trying to make it more of a sequel? Maybe. But I don't know. It's been a long time since Overwatch has gotten any content, I feel like, and I don't know if it's going to be a good year for the game. I don't really play it much myself anymore, so I can't really speak a whole lot to that.
Man, I had a ton of fun playing that with you for a while.
We had so much fun. I used to love that game. Like, and I'm sure to this day it's still a lot of fun.
That was one of the main games that encouraged you to buy a PC.
It was. I think it was the game that encouraged me to buy a PC. But now I'm not playing at all, so it's kind of sad. But
I would play that with you sometime if you wanted to.
I would download it and play with it, or play with you on it. Because I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Like, there's characters that I've never even played that have been added since I've last played. But yeah, we should do that. Let's talk about that.
Soldier 76 reporting for duty.
It's high noon.
What's her name?
There's a lot of characters.
Diva. What does Diva say again? Gigi.
Gigi.
What does May say? I used to love quoting May. I have a May t-shirt.
I don't know. May was not one of my favorites. Cause she was so annoying. What a dumb character.
I was really good with May. I loved playing defense with her and those ice walls.
Yeah, gosh. I think towards the end of playing, I really enjoyed using tanks a lot. I was using a lot of Diva, a lot of Reinhardt, Winston, the monkey. He was the best.
Oh, yeah. I'm a scientist.
But it's not surprising that Diablo 4 is not coming.
Man, what does Winston say that I used to quote all the time? Onward and upward.
Yeah. We could go on and on with all the quotes that all these characters have there.
Oh, man, it makes me want to play it right now.
If I had to download it, I would.
Such a good time. I'm going to download it today just to have it ready.
I will too. I will do that. Assuming that I still have space on my SSD.
Right. I might have like space for one more game on mine.
I had to delete Warzone. Like, it was taking up way too much space.
Oh, yeah. It's insane. It's the game that's never going to be finished. It's just constant.
Yeah, like
updates.
By itself, it's like 200 gigs. And like
That's
every
ridiculous.
update is like 50.
Yeah.
My goodness, what are you guys doing?
I know. Wild. Preston, what are your thoughts on all this Blizzard news?
I don't really have too many thoughts. I was, disappointed when I first heard this because, Vicarious Visions, the work they had just put out was just so good that it sucked to see them just be swallowed up by Blizzard. But, if they're making a Diablo 2 remake, I think they're a fantastic studio to do that. So that kind of made me feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
But,
well, hopefully that I know Activision just had an earnings call and they have a lot of plans to like remake a lot of their old games, and they're also making a lot of mobile spin-offs for a lot of their titles. So
I just really hope Vicarious Visions just doesn't become, if they are doing the Diablo 2 remake or whatever, like I said, that's great. But I hope after that they get put on other projects like that and they just don't become like the, a
remake squad.
Or no, like I'm fine with it being a remake squad. I just hope that they don't turn into like a are they High Moon? Yeah, or whatever, like the High Moon and Raven were for Call of Duty. They're just like making maps and stuff. Like I just don't want like Vicarious Visions just like doing updates for WoW and stuff, until they're dead.
I hate to break it to you, but they are officially a Blizzard team. They're called Team One now. And, they are going to be working on Blizzard games for here on out.
Well, at least start remaking stuff. At least I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think like why this happened is because of what was it, Warcraft?
Yeah, that got such crappy. I don't. From what I heard, it was not very good. Didn't get a lot of good.
A lot of people
impressions.
Hate it.
Yeah,
and for good reason. Like it was not up to Blizzard quality.
It just kind of blows, dude. Because of course, I won't be able to come up with anything at this point. But there's got to be so many more like old school Activision games that were beloved during the PS2 era that Vicarious Visions could redo, and now it's
they worked on Tony Hawk, correct?
Yeah, like they could have done the other Tony Hawk games or made their own Tony Hawk game or whatever. I mean, it just kind of sucks. They like brought back Crash Bandicoot into the limelight to the point where a sequel was made, and even that game was received well, and they brought Tony Hawk back from the dead after it looked like he was done for. And they do those two things, and now it's just like, all right, well, go to the salt mines now. So it's just kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and I think what's the other studio called? High Moon. They're working on Call of Duty now, so I don't really know if Activision has anyone working on that kind of stuff anymore. Like it's just Call of Duty or Blizzard. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they kind of did the same thing with Raven. I think Raven is a fantastic studio. You know, I think Singularity is one of the most underrated FPSs ever. And, you know, they, for the most part, were just doing maps and stuff. They did get to, you know, tackle the Black Ops or Cold War campaign. And that was cool to see. And I think they did a really good job. That was a very solid campaign. So hopefully they can tackle more stuff like that in the future as well.
It's a shame I'm never going to go back to that.
Did you ever finish the campaign?
No. I played like 4 missions.
This is a good campaign, dude.
I'm sure it is.
Especially,
it is.
There's a, you know, one mission where you plays an undercover, what are they called? KGB? He plays an undercover KGB agent. It's a fantastic mission. So, anywho's.
Preston, why don't you fill us in on the Kotor news?
Oh gosh.
Quote unquote.
I mean,
you know all about this, don't you?
No, I don't. Not really. It's like a guy who kind of knows somewhat about it breaking the news. There's just been some rumors around, either a KOTOR remake or a New Republic game or whatever for a while. And I believe Jason Schreier came out a while ago saying that, they were doing something, but, we would never guess who the studio is. But anyway, things have come to light to where it's pretty much for the most part confirmed that Aspire, the team that restored the content to KOTOR 2 and ported the games to a mobile, they're kind of building a KOTOR like dream team, bringing guys that worked on the original into their studio. And Jason Schreier, pretty much on Reset Era confirmed that they were the ones doing it. So that's pretty much all there is to news. But I think it's fantastic that if you were going to get a team to, either remake the game or tackle new canon or whatever, I think to take some people that made the original, not only that, but ported these games, restored content to these games that have just been all up in these games, business for years and years and years. They know what makes these games tick. They know what people like about these games. Like there's not a better studio to tackle another KOTOR than Aspire. So
sure.
It's definitely exciting news for sure, because
it definitely is, Mick. We've all been saying how much we want another KOTOR.
Yeah.
Or even just a remake.
Yeah. Anything that, I've tried so many times to jump back into the original, and it's just so old.
I was watching someone play 2 the other, maybe a week or so ago. I saw someone that I follow on Twitch was playing, so I clicked on their stream, and my God, it looks so terrible.
Yeah.
I could never go play it again. Oh.
Definitely. Yeah, it's it needs an update for sure. But
the combat is this isn't surprising at all, but the combat, they're just standing in there, they're moving their limbs and it's just attack. Attack. And the enemies are there's attack.
Man, that's the Old Republic with better combat, especially. I'm going to compare everything to Ghost of Tsushima going forward, but give me lightsaber combat like that in an RPG. Be a happy man.
I always forget that I played Tsushima. That might be bad, but anyways.
It's pretty sick on PS5, New Game Plus.
I should do that.
It's very good.
Yeah, because I only ever played it on the base PS4. I bet my mind would be blown.
Not only is it stunning in that 60 FPS, but New Game Plus is just really cool too. There's a whole new vendor and stuff you can interact with, and it skips over all the stuff at the beginning and just throws you right into the beginning of the game, after the prologue and the tutorial and everything. So it's nice.
I bet if we had the time, we would have a lot of fun with that co-op mode that they added. All 3 of us playing together.
I'm sure we would.
Oh, I played through almost all of it just in single player, and it was awesome. It's extremely solid. It's so. I think I talked about it on the podcast like the first week it came out. It my mind was just being melted as I was playing it, just by how much content and like how in depth they went in to everything for that mode, just for it to just be just a free add-on. Just it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic devs over there at Sucker Punch.
Oh yeah. They just need to, like, Ghost of Tsushima is really cool and stuff, but like, let's stop playing around and make another Sly Cooper, please. That's what we really want.
Give the people what they want.
You think I'm joking? I'm dead serious.
I'm dead serious about that. Or give me like a remastered
no way you're
trilogy.
Serious.
Dude, I would freaking love for them to make like a open world stealth Sly Cooper game, kind of like Tsushima. That would be so freaking sick.
That would just be incredible. I don't know if they're large enough to have a B team, though, because I know they're reportedly working on a sequel already to Ghost, which I can't blame them because of the success of the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. Like, there's so few stealth games anymore. You guys would freak out if anyone made one.
Hitman 3 is like taking the world by storm right now. People are losing their minds over that game. So stealth has a place
2 and
here.
3 are stellar games.
Yeah.
I would love
and
to play
it's like
those.
with Ratchet and Clank, kind of, I don't want to say that it ever became irrelevant, but it kind of, faded away there for a bit. But, Insomniac brought it back, and now...
that's one of my most anticipated games.
Exactly. I forgot the name of it. Rift Apart. Yeah. That's one of my most, anticipated PS5 games coming out. So, if another PlayStation studio tackled Sly Cooper, I definitely think it could kind of get the same reception. And unless they canceled it, which they very well might have, I know they were trying to make an animated movie for Sly Cooper. But like I said, that might be canceled. But that they could totally do exactly what they did with the Ratchet and Clank movie. Release like a $40, $50 really stellar Sly Cooper game along with a movie, and just kind of see what happens. But
I agree completely. I've been thinking about Rift Apart. I can imagine Insomniac taking full advantage of the DualSense with all the different wacky weapons in the game.
Yeah.
And how each one could feel totally different on the controller.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I'm really hoping for that.
That gets me excited.
I hope they do a ray tracing 60 FPS mode like they did with Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, if they do it in Spider-Man, what's stopping them from doing it in that game, too? They have to.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait to see that game. I've just always wanted to see all those thousands of bolts flying around at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
I was fantasizing about that playing it on PS4. I was like, dude, this is phenomenal, but if only it was 60 FPS, it'd be even better.
That's always been the best part of Ratchet and Clank is collecting the bolts.
Yeah, that's one of the most fun I've ever had getting a platinum before, was that game.
Yep.
That's always been my creed, like the band that we were discussing. Is I only platinum games that I have just an absolute blast playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to do that with old Demon Souls, but I stepped away for a while to play other stuff. But I may eventually go back to that. I was on track for it, but it'll take a little bit more work.
I feel that.
So I'm excited to hear your thoughts on Demon Souls, Jacob. That game is really awesome.
I'm excited to play it. I put it off for way too long. And I got a gift card for Christmas, a PlayStation gift card. So that'll help knock down that $70 price a little bit too.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah,
it's a gorgeous game too.
I have a $25 Steam card, and I do have no clue what to use it on. It's been sitting in my my wallet for like 2 months now.
Your physical wallet or your
my
Steam wallet?
Steam wallet.
Oh, I was going to ask for it.
I'm at a crossroad today. I wish we live stream this podcast so I could do an immediate poll of should I play. I might dabble in a bit of everything today. Overwatch, Control, Persona, Battlefront 2 because I downloaded it on Epic and I've kind of been in the mood to just dabble in that, even if it's like for a match or two. And whatever else we were just talking about.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Demon Souls. Demon Souls is fun. Man, I would replay Ratchet and Clank on PS4, or at least play a little bit of it if they did like a 60 FPS mode for it, just to prep for the new one.
Yeah, I
Like,
actually
hey, in preparation for Rift Apart, like here's a 60 FPS mode.
I actually downloaded that one from the PlayStation Plus collection and played in it for a little bit, and it's just that whole going back to 30 FPS thing is just so jarring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's rough.
So
we're getting a little sidetracked here.
Every game has to have a performance mode from now on. I can't do the 30 FPS anymore.
No, it's time to move on. Gone are the
Speaking
days.
of which, God of War just got an update.
Yeah,
You guys gonna replay that?
I actually started to replay it prior to the update coming out because I thought the update had already come out and it was 30 FPS. I was like, dang it, dude. And I was like, this is not what I was hoping it would be. It was still cool, but
I mean, if you
I only
enable
played the opening.
If you enable the performance option on that God of War, it would get up to 60 FPS, but it wouldn't have the higher resolution that it has now with the PS5 update.
Because I tried that and I couldn't find the performance option.
Yeah.
I think I downloaded the actual PS4 version was the problem.
Probably.
There's still a that was all that's available. But
oh yeah, I remember that. See, yeah, that's even then though. It still looked the same to me when I was playing it. I don't know why, but it wasn't very clearly 60. But I already removed it off my hard drive. Probably not going to go back to that. I'm just waiting for the sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might replay it when the sequel's closer to coming out, I imagine. Not right now, though. I got too many things that I haven't experienced yet.
Yeah, same here.
But next story, boys. Harry Potter TV series. I don't know anything about this. I don't know. Like, what do we know?
All we know is that ideas are being developed. That's all we know. That's coming to HBO Max eventually.
Okay.
I'm one of those fans who really only cares about Hogwarts. I like the world surrounding just Harry Potter in general. Like, I like all of it. But the heart of Harry Potter for me is just being at Hogwarts.
Well, that is the heart of Harry Potter.
Right. So I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I want to see like and I'm open to like maybe seeing, like an horror story, like a wizard detective, like going around the wizarding world, solving crimes or something. I don't know. That could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what I've always wanted to see? I want to see another school, another magic school. Like, give me a school that's in America. Like, show me how it's different there compared to what they do at Hogwarts. You know what I mean?
That certainly has potential.
And you could really do a lot of cool stuff with a TV show in that kind of setting, I think. But I don't know if they would do that necessarily. That might be a bit of a stretch. I'm trying to think of, like, if I was making a show, like, what would I want to make? Because you obviously want to make something that's kind of safe because you want it to be successful. And to, like, sell it to your superiors, you want to, convince them that it's going to be successful. So you want to make something based off of something that's already successful, like Hogwarts, or I don't know, something that's already been shown in a movie to some extent. So, like, I wonder if they're going to, like, do something that predates Harry Potter. Like, you would have to imagine they would. That's what they're doing with the game.
I mean, imagine having a 7-year Hogwarts student. You get 7 strong seasons.
That would be cool.
And it's like
that might not be
like 8 to 10 episodes a season is like a lot of time to explore a character for each school year. Versus think about the Harry Potter movies where you get roughly 2 hours a school year.
Yeah, you're right.
And flesh it out over like 8 to 10 hours a season. You can do a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Again, you got to have more than just, it's a Hogwarts student going to school. Like, you have to have an actual story. But that as an idea just on paper is like, yeah, there's a lot you could explore there. Just that is like the bones of a story we got to fill in.
Yeah. I think something that would delve more into the magic of the world would be cool. Like, because, you have to assume we don't know all of the magic because, we know what we've seen so far. Like, there's got to be more that we just haven't seen.
So like cool force powers, you can teleport things through time and space and like send force ghosts to confront people, like cool stuff like that we've always wanted.
And traveling to different planets.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
the kind of stuff I want to see added in.
But honestly, I don't really know. I enjoy the Fantastic Beasts movies, but obviously they're not nearly as good as the original Harry Potter movies. So if they like I'm not saying I want them to do like Fantastical Beasts, like the show. But
yeah, no, those movies just I have zero interest in them for some reason.
Oh, it's unfortunate that what is it, Johnny Depp? He's not going to be what's his face? He played Grindelwald, right?
Yeah. Now it's Mads Mikkelsen taking over,
which
for
isn't
him.
the worst choice in the world. I don't think.
I still haven't seen the sequel to the first one.
It's fine.
I heard it's pretty bad.
It could be better. It could be a lot better.
Man, it came out a few years ago, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. I think the new one's it was supposed to be out soon, but I don't know. We're getting a little sidetracked here, though.
Let's do a TV show about a pro or an amateur Quidditch player trying to go pro. It's just a sports show, but it's Quidditch.
I'd be down for that.
It's like Friday Night Lights, but it's Quidditch. You could totally pitch that to a producer, and they would click and say, like, Friday Night Lights meets Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, tell me more.
And you can like have episodes about drama within the team, and then you have like a rival squad that you really want to get beat.
Totally.
And you got other schools.
And maybe like they're seniors at Hogwarts. Like that's the first season. They're seniors, like playing their final season and maybe they're like Ravenclaw students or something, just to make it totally different. Mm-hmm. But it's really, I mean, you're at Hogwarts. You kind of get the vibe and like locales of Hogwarts, but it's primarily focused on Quidditch and like maybe the drama of the team and like the politics around that at the school. And I think I know I'm just going on a random rant right now, but I think just that alone, that's an idea. If I was at one of these idea meetings, these exploratory meetings, I would throw out there to see what people think.
Yeah.
I think that's a very niche audience, honestly, because Harry Potter is, I mean, I think everyone who's a Harry Potter fan appreciates Quidditch at the very least, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who's been like, dude, Quidditch is everything about Harry Potter to me.
It is cool though. Like I'm a
massive fan. Like I remember, like I can still vividly remember reading the rules in Sorcerer's Stone as a child, and like to this day can like verbatim repeat what the rules are of Quidditch. So I've always been a fan of that, and that's why I hope, and like I'm not going to go on a tangent. Don't worry about this, but Legacy, like I really hope to see some sort of Quidditch mechanic.
Yeah.
And I've always thought the Quidditch World Cup, the game, was really solid. It was like FIFA meets Quidditch. I'd love to see something like that again, but
yeah, that's
one of my two ideas is the Quidditch. The Quidditch.
No, I like that. One of my favorite memories from Harry Potter is in Goblet of Fire when the book and the movie start out at the Quidditch World Cup, and like obviously the book goes a lot more into detail of what actually like how the match plays out and who's. It's a lot more in depth, obviously, because it's a book. But like the movies, like they don't show any of the match really. But the whole experience of them going to
the World Cup match,
and like everyone that's
what sucks is in the book you actually get to read about the match.
Yeah,
and in the movie I was so bummed. I remember seeing that in the theater and be like, okay, here we go. I've been waiting to see this on screen, and they just skip over it. Like it's ultimately obviously not important to the story, but that did bum me out in the movie when they skip over it.
Mm-hmm. But just
imagine
it could be
one of those shows where each season is a different cast of characters and subject. Like you could do the Hogwarts student season, you could do the Quidditch season, you could do
sounds
the
like a lot
season.
of money, Garrett. It's a lot of actors.
Yeah, but I mean, shows have done that. That or you just recycle the same actors, but I probably wouldn't want to see that either.
Just put a different wig on them.
Yeah. That's the problem with Harry Potter, though, with the game, with the movie, the TV shows, is that there's so much you can do. It just comes down to whoever's writing, whoever's producing what they think their audience wants to see most.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm aware, everyone loves the core cast in Hogwarts the most. People have already speculated, will the original cast show up in some capacity if this takes place after the books, after the movies? I think that makes sense. I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's so many things you could do. Preston, is there anything in particular you just would love to see, or are you pretty just open-minded about it?
I'm pretty open-minded. There's not really anything that I'm dying to see in that universe. I probably am more kind of on your side in terms of like I definitely want to see something take place inside Hogwarts because the Fantastic Beasts movies for me as well. I'm just not interested at all, which is kind of crazy because I love Harry Potter. I've read all the books, at least twice. I've seen all the movies multiple times. So if you would have told me back then, like, hey man, there's a series of Harry Potter movies that's going to come out, and you literally could not give one crap about, I'd probably call you crazy. But
you're crazy, man.
Yeah, I never. I mean, I think I watched half of the first movie on a flight, and I didn't care at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, they're not for me either.
Yeah, I just love, I loved Hogwarts. I loved the, cast of characters that was in the, original series and stuff. So I would at least like to see something like that replicated, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it would be really special to see like an older Daniel Radcliffe, like reprising his role as Harry Potter. Like I think people would lose their minds if
that
they
would
saw
be
that
pretty cool
at some point.
This would obviously have to be
like
before the epilogue of Deathly Hallows. Long before that.
That's the big twist at the end of the first season is like the main Death Eater like takes his mask off and it's Harry Potter.
Harry.
Oh my gosh.
You're a Death Eater, Harry.
In between the end of Deathly Hallows and 19 years later, he's a Death Eater.
Yeah.
That's a twist.
Oh man, dude, I have so many more ideas about Legacy swirling in my head, but I'm not going to share them here.
Yeah.
I'll share them when we get another trailer or something.
Was that all
potential?
Did we already do all the game news?
That except for Mass Effect and Prince of Persia.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to make sure we had at least Mass Effect on there.
Yeah, let me read this from Bohongales. Kyle writes in and says, "Sup, fellas? Hope you're having a good 2021. So the Mass Effect collection is coming to Steam and has been nerfed. And it has been nerfed. Confirmed less ass shots. What are your thoughts? For changes like this, would you rather give them the player the option to experience the original, or should changes like this be final? I'm not a big fan of adjusting the original experience, even when it's something that can benefit a game. It'd be cool if the collection was adjusted to opt in to the original experience." So before I read the next part of his question, let's talk about that. Let's just talk about the collection in general. And of course, I mean, what I read about the butt shots is that they're reducing them in certain scenes where it just doesn't make sense. Like I didn't realize, I'd forgotten in Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah, dude.
Miranda's talking about her dead sister.
Just playing through the second one, there's a lot of butt.
Yeah. Which is so funny. I didn't realize that she's talking about her dead sister to Shepard.
Wait,
and it's just a shot of her
butt?
ass the entire scene.
Yeah. In their defense a little bit, like kind of a part of Miranda's character is that she's like genetically made to be like, a perfect, sexy lady.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I know who I'm picking.
Dude, I'm so excited to play Mass Effect 2 again. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That game is amazing.
I do think I disagree with Kyle a little bit about if you can change something that's like a glaring issue in an original game for the better, absolutely. I think it should be done. Which is exactly, what they're doing with the first game. Like the first game has do we really want there to be 30-minute elevator rides in the first game? Like, do we want
if I get some butts, that's fine.
Yeah, do we want the combat to be as kind of janky as it was,
Did they mention anything they've done to the combat in the first one? I didn't read into that.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They moved the camera to kind of be more tight and around your shoulder. They made the aiming snappier as well. I think they did a few more things. The Mako drives better. I think the camera is adjusted with that as well. But and then obviously like the graphics, the character models look light years better. And then I believe they one thing that kind of got a little bit of controversy is they changed the look of Eden Prime, the first location you go to in Mass Effect 1. They kind of made it look like how it looks in Mass Effect 3. Which some people have some issues with that because the sky and stuff in the first game is all red and stuff. But in the way it looks now, it's not red at all. It just looks like a normal sky. But like I said, they're trying to make it look like Mass Effect 3. So there's like some continuity, between all three of the games. But just me personally, I didn't play Mass Effect to look at Miranda's butt or anybody's butt.
Why are you playing?
Yeah, I know
What's the
that's
point,
crazy. So I really don't care that much. I would care a lot more if they were like taking or just like doing something egregious, like
removing
so long as they don't remove the ass shots of Garrus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been a step too far. Or just like, we're taking out the renegade options in Mass Effect because they were too mean.
Mhm.
Like, if they did something like that, then yeah, that's something to definitely get pissed off about. But
Jacob, I still strongly advise you start with 2. And if you really
I don't
like
know,
2,
dude. 1 seems like all the changes they're making.
I'm just afraid
looks
that
great.
Jacob's going to play it, like not be interested in playing 2, and then that would be devastating.
If I played 1 and I didn't like it, I would go ahead and just jump to 2.
I have heard
I wouldn't just like
people
not play it.
I've heard people that have been going back to play 1 are like kind of being surprised by how good it is, you know, like better than they even remembered. So
that's good. I like the idea of creating a custom Shepherd again and going through 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
for sure. I think one will hold up. I have faith. So, but yeah, Jacob,
this makes me want to watch Gamer Poop again. It's been so long.
Those are so good.
But this is great, man. I know that one of the unfortunate things to happen is there's one piece of DLC that is not going to be in the first game. I forget the name of it, but the studio they had contracted to make the DLC, all the files got corrupted. So they would have to like completely remake it from the ground up, which would add on several months, you know, they said of development time. So that's the only piece of DLC we're not going to get. But again, from what I've heard, it's not like it's insanely important, you know, story-based DLC or anything like that. It was kind of one of the smaller ones. So, but yeah, I'm excited to, even though I've played all 3 of them, to kind of, you know, at least play the first one again with all the improvements and stuff, because it has been a hot minute since I played that first one. And I
haven't played that since like the year it came out, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from it either. You know,
me neither.
My knowledge mainly goes back to 2 and 3 for the most part. So, but yeah, very excited to have that all on one disc to go through that again. So
for sure.
The only problem is going to be finding time to play it in May, because holy crap, that month is just stacked with games.
What else is coming out?
Remind us.
Man, just in May, we got Resident Evil Village coming out on the 7th, Mass Effect coming out on the 14th, and Deathloop coming out on the 21st. So that is back to back to back weeks of, you know, hopefully really incredible games.
More like boring loop, am I right?
Good one.
Speaking of another bad joke, I'm looking at this.
Stealth Gamer, the game.
Speaking of bad jokes, I'm looking at this Polygon article, and the subtitle of it is called "Some Fans Are Butthurt."
I thought that was just going to be the joke.
Oh, it's the joke within the joke.
Some fans are butthurt.
So they definitely took the punny approach, which I, as a
I respect it.
Gentleman that's gaining years on my life, I find that humorous. So
same.
Kyle goes on to say, also, hey, how's it going? I've heard some of you are caught up on Attack on Titan, and I need to hear some thoughts. This show continues to get better, and I can't wait for this roller coaster of torment to continue. Finally, Preston, let's talk about Attack on Titan before we continue about Final Fantasy.
I want to, but I can't without spoiling
we can't
everything.
spoil it, so just basic thoughts. It is a roller coaster of torment, certainly, but it's also just very exciting. It's excellent writing, tremendous action, awesome storytelling. My only like super minor, barely existent gripe is that the animation is just a hair underwhelming compared to season 3, because season 3 is just insane how beautiful it is, and then season 4, it does not look bad at all. It just doesn't look as good as season 3, but it's still very well done, and the story has just gone in directions I never remotely anticipated, and in good ways. Like I like being my that very controversial statement for a while when Last Jedi came out. I like having my expectations subverted when it's done well, and it's in line with what you expect from at least the majority of characters. So
that's the biggest thing for me with this show is kind of like we talked about before the podcast started, is just where the show is now, and I am not caught up. I haven't even finished season 3 yet. I think I'm like a episode or 2. I have an episode or 2 left in 3. But yeah, it is just just going back and watching some of the first episode and just seeing where the show starts out with, like, it's insane to see where the story has gone. It is, like you said, my expectations have been completely, I think just in terms of storytelling and stuff, they've been blown away, because I didn't think that they would just be able to go in the direction they've gone and be able to do it as well as they have. But yeah, it's just really an amazing show at this point.
Yeah. Garrett, I think I'm kind of on your side now, because when I think it was like not the last episode, but the one prior, I was looking at some of the characters and I didn't even know who they were because they were just animated completely differently.
Right, that's what's so impressive. It's like you can't even recognize some of them.
So like that's like my only gripe about the animation. It's not that I have a problem with how it looks or anything like that. It's just that I don't recognize things because they just don't look the same. So it took me a little while to like I had to go back and watch a episode of season 3 because I was like, who is this? Like I remember these names, but I don't remember who they look like. And then like I made the connection. I was like, oh, okay, now I'm in.
Uh-oh.
Dude, the final shot of season 3 is like something you'd see in a museum. It's so beautifully animated.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to season 4, and at first I was like, I was confused because the story is like in a place where you didn't expect right at the start. Yeah. But also the animation's so different. I was like, did I choose is there like a spin-off show that I'm unaware of or something? I was so confused at first.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's phenomenal. I'm excited too. We're recording the day of the new episode, so yeah, I'm gonna watch it today.
Yeah, forget the Super Bowl. I'm watching Attack on Titan.
I got some anime to watch, dude. Dude, I went on a date a while back. This is hilarious. When a girl, because I'm at a point in my life now where I'm just like not even going to remotely sugarcoat who I am. Maybe in high school I would have, but like I'm going to be straight up with what I'm interested in. I know we were talking about TV shows and like a lot of cool stuff, and somehow anime came up. I was like, oh, like, do you watch any anime? She's like, no. She's like, do you? I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, there's some really good shows out there. And I like talked for maybe 10 seconds about a couple of titles. And I kid you not, this girl looked at me, dude, like I like spat on her mother or something. She was like disgusted by the idea that I watched anime. So
that's why I don't like talk about anime in public with anyone. Like,
long story short, she and I have not seen each other since. So.
Man.
Anyway. But don't be ashamed of who you are and what you're into.
Anime, yeah, absolutely. But it's just like those particular kids in high school just like ruined it for everybody.
Oh yeah, completely.
Because I don't see how you could like just sit anybody like down in front of like Erased, for instance. Like
exactly.
How do you think that's bad?
I know. That's what I try to explain to people. I'm like, just because you have to let go of your preconditioned perspective of anime, specifically the people that watch it, because Erased is the prime example of just beautiful storytelling in an animated form, like Japanese animation. That's just a beautiful story.
Yeah, that or like the Studio
there's nothing
Ghibli
even
movies.
Like insanely wacky about it. It's like very grounded for the most part. Yeah. Not entirely, but you know what I mean.
And I think Attack on Titan is a fantastic, anime entry point or whatever. Yeah, like my uncle, dude, it's just a completely different person in terms of the media that he consumes, like from games to TV shows. Like I told him, like, dude, watch Attack on Titan, and kind of like that girl, he looked at me like I was some insane person. I was like, please just give it a chance. And then like
as long as you can get over like the Titans that look like just lunatics all the time. Well, like, if you can just get over that, you'll love the show.
I think that, and just kind of like the. Just like the typical anime voice acting, like everything is super exaggerated and stuff. Like,
something that's pretty mainstream now that would scare people away is My Hero for sure.
Oh yeah, that's you kind of got to be in the depths of anime to get into that show for sure. But yeah, like watching Attack on Titan complete, like he watches tons of anime now. So that was just a fantastic, entry point.
It's similar to games in a lot of sense, because that same girl was off put by the idea that I even had a slight interest in video games as well. And what I've tried to tell people that have those opinions is that like there are so many. I'm not telling people like you have to play these, you have to see these, but I try to explain them like something that you're just completely writing off. You're missing out on some of the best stories I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
in both video games and anime.
And that girl will sit down like 10 hours a night and watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and think that's completely normal.
No, she was into. She did like reality TV. She did admit that. What else? She was into like some other mainstream, like New Girl. I've heard New Girl's awesome, but that was like one
New
of her
Girl's a
favorite
good
shows.
show. Yeah, it's a good show.
But that's been on my list for a while too. Is New Girl, but no, she was not interested in either of those things. So, but I tried to say like, not even really in defense. I was like, just if you're ever open minded, like some really great stories you could experience, dude, in both those mediums.
I will try out any like different form of media or whatever. You know,
yeah.
You just you never know.
True.
For sure. Dude.
I guess not anything. I'm not going to watch like,
Oh,
I'll
watch snuff films.
Yeah, I'll watch legal stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, cool.
Kyle goes on to say, finally, Preston, have you heard about the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion? I'm so excited to see where this 10-year arc ends, and the trailer was amazing. Also, the name Endwalker is sick. Dude, Endwalker would be a sick band name.
Yes.
I know you guys were talking about it earlier, but that'd be a great band name.
The trailer looks so freaking cool, and I would like to get even like near that point of the game. That's my goal. So I've heard, obviously Shadowbringers, the story's supposed to be so amazing in that, so I at least just want to get to that. I'm just mainly interested in how a story is so like praised as much as Final Fantasy, and it be an MMO, because just like the way that I'm enjoying the Heavensward story, but like I'm just really interested in to see how it gets so much better apparently. Mm-hmm. So, but looks awesome. That trailer looks just like Final Fantasy 16 too as well.
Yeah,
like 16 is the
I did watch the trailer.
The medieval trailer we saw at the PlayStation.
Yes,
showcase, right?
which it's being
that looks pretty awesome.
Yes, it's being like helmed by the same people that do 14, which is why it looks very similar. Like Creative, I think they're called Creative Business 3 or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's the
man. I still have that bug too. It's like I would love to play some WoW. I'm open to Final Fantasy 14. Dude. Like I've had that WoW bug in the depths of my mind since childhood, just waiting to be unleashed.
Careful
and
about letting
of course,
it out.
I've satisfied it very temporarily playing my Blood Elf to level 20, but I know that world is so much bigger than just that small bite size.
That's such a small piece,
dude.
Like that's like the most insignificant piece of my whole time playing WoW.
And even playing it, I knew.
Besides playing with you, like that was fun. But
FF14 is the place to be right now.
No,
like, people are still in love with that game. Nobody's like wanting to kill themselves about.
But they're playing old content right now. Like at least wait till Endwalker comes out.
Old content.
That's when people will be playing that. What?
Who's playing old content right now?
Final Fantasy 14 players. I mean, maybe they just got an update recently or something. I don't know. I don't follow the game, but
are WoW
just had a new expansion come out. New expansion. Although a lot of people are getting bored of it right now. They're waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody.
I mean, that's just the story of an MMO.
That's my point. Every time I see WoW stuff, it's like people complaining about it.
Oh yeah, like
people are still in the honeymoon stages with FF14 still.
Well, WoW's been around for a long time. I guess Final Fantasy 14 has too, but
I remember playing the beta for FF14 on my PS3.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been out for a while.
Then they had that the overhaul.
Yeah, they freaking nuked the original one. I still think that is the coolest thing. That it is literally the old game is a part of the lore. They just blew it up, which is what A Realm Reborn is. It's just like what takes place after them blowing up that first game. I think that is so funny.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. They're both. I mean, I played 14 very minor. Like I played for But I played on the PS4 way back in the day, and I maybe got to level 10. I don't know, but it was fun. You know, I wouldn't say I would never play it, but not right now. Looks like we got a couple more stories. Topics.
Prince of Persia, man, indefinitely delayed. Surprises, definitely not me. That game not only looked extremely questionable when it was revealed, but when they I shouldn't even say this because it sounds so judgmental, but I have to be honest. Like when they showed this team behind the scenes, I'm like, I don't trust these people have any idea what they're doing. I don't know why. I did not get a vibe of confidence from them at all. Everyone can just instinctively already know this. There's very poor leadership at that studio. And secondly, because of that poor leadership, no one can decide what direction they should truly go in, probably in every regard, visually, mechanically, just presentation overall. They're probably just totally lost. And they're at a point now where Preston and I were talking the other night that they're probably having to bring in some bigger guns to help them like really figure this out and finish it. And hopefully at the very least someone who can just say, this is exactly what we're doing. Let's hunker down and make it happen versus just kind of like meandering and trying to figure it out. I could be totally wrong about that. It's just the writing on the wall seems to be the case. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? No, Preston, you have talked a little bit about it. I don't know if you have any different thoughts since we last talked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about it. I was still looking forward to playing it, even though I wasn't, really pleased with what I had seen. But I was just hoping that it would at least be the old game that just looks slightly better. But and it was delayed once, so that made me feel a little bit better. Like, well, then surely it will look and be better, than it was. So. We're still looking forward to playing it, but I'm kind of.
They mentioned in that original presentation that they have the original voice actors back, right? I know Yuri's back.
Yuri is back, yes. I don't know if everybody is back though.
I think he's most important.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
only thing I can really hope for is I hope it's almost entirely the same. I just hope it's more interesting combat because it's just very outdated now. So, not necessarily like Assassin's Creed combat, but. I mean, I'd even settle with something like Assassin's Creed 2 or 3 combat, honestly, over the original.
I think the original's combat, there's something there. Like, it's not the worst. Like, it's...
For sure, like hopping over the guys and slashing them in the back and then stabbing them to actually kill them with the dagger of time.
Yeah. Especially, like, introducing the dagger abilities, like being able to... run up walls and attack off of them and stuff. Like there definitely is something there. It's not just like an old school, just like smash square to win. Like you definitely could not do that in that game. So just kind of modernize it a little bit. Hopefully the backlash that they kind of got, on Reddit and Twitter, it just made them kind of reevaluate everything and hopefully, put more of a budget and more time into to actually make something really fantastic as opposed to something just like, serviceable. Mm-hmm. Because that would just really suck for, them to bring the Prince of Persia back with just a pretty mediocre remaster than just be like, oh, well, we tried, it is what it is. I guess we'll just never make another one again. So
that'd be a bummer.
Yeah. Kind of like what they're doing with Splinter Cell right now. Just kind of put it in the vaults with Sam Fisher.
Yeah. Shame.
But hopefully, it actually is a, fantastic game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can envision it in my head. It's hard to describe, but man, give me graphics like, this is probably asking too much, but that look artistically like Uncharted 4 or something. Not like not necessarily that level of detail, but just like that, like the faces that look that realistic is what I'm saying. At least
get it on the level of like Assassin's Creed. Like, when it comes to faces and stuff, like Valhalla,
it looks really good.
Looks like astronomically better than what we saw in that first trailer.
For sure. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. It's like that, almost like realistic art style.
Yeah.
Because I know the first one, I mean, especially due to its time, had sort of like, it wasn't cartoony. It just had more of a stylized art style.
Yeah,
I'd like to see a more realistic approach to the remake.
for sure.
So keep the original music. I hope the script is line for line the same. That's important for all those nostalgic beats along the way.
For sure.
So, but one of the subjects we were kind of talking about before we got rolling, we're like, dude, we should talk about that on the podcast, is feeling guilty while playing video games. Not really guilty, but just not entirely comfortable knowing in the back of your mind there's a million other things you could be doing, and oftentimes things we should be doing, but we neglect them to indulge in entertainment. And I feel that every single time I play video games. Now, presently, I don't, because I am living with COVID as we speak, and so I'm technically recovering. And while I do have something that isn't absolutely critical for me to be doing right now, there's no excuse for me not to be doing it. My excuse in my mind is like, oh, when I feel better, I'll like hunker down and like really focus on that and take care of it. But I feel totally fine enough to do that, but I've put it off to play things like Control and watch 5 seasons of Peaky Blinders in like a week and stuff like that. But let's kind of talk about however long we feel like, just sort of the feelings and emotions or mental states we go through while playing games, especially nowadays when we're both pushing late 20s and have many more responsibilities, and I know we all have different ambitions for our futures. And it's like, I'm not saying that we all know this, like we've said this a million times on the podcast throughout the years, like there's nothing wrong with playing video games, but there comes a time and place where it's like we need to prioritize what's important over what we want to do in the moment. And that's that's life in general. Like you could be distracted by literally anything on the planet, but in our case, oftentimes it is video games. And I'm sure much of our audience can relate to that to some degree, whether it was in their past or it's presently, or they've been in and out of that feeling before. So let's discuss that a bit. We got to talking about it before we started, but I want to hear from one of you guys first.
I think I think everyone sort of struggles with it to a certain extent. More people, some people more so than others. I mean, the easy answer, if you just want to answer for the question, like it's to get your stuff done that you need to get done, then do what you want to do with your free time, right? But that's easier said than done. Like, you have deadlines, maybe you're not in the mood to do something, so you go and play a game instead, and then you end up wasting your whole night or something like that. But one thing that's really sort of helped me in terms of this, I follow this creator on YouTube, and he makes WoW content, but he also is really into fitness like I am. And he came up with these things called the dailies, and it's based off of something in WoW, which is daily quests. And basically you have these quests that pop up every day, and they either give you like some sort of resource or a reputation gain, but you can repeat them every day to hopefully eventually max out that reputation or resource, whatever it might be. But he created his own dailies, and basically they are sunlight, movement, water, eating, sleep, and socializing. So, like, according to him, those are like the 6 things that you should be doing every day to have like a balanced, healthy life. And he only games after he's done all of those things to some extent. And I think that's like a good sort of like breaking it down in simple terms. Like, you need most of these things to have like a positive, healthy life for the most part. And and ever since I like saw him talk about these, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like enlightening for me. Like, yes, I always try to drink a lot of water. I always try to get some sort of exercise in every single day. I always try to make sure I'm eating, what I need to be eating throughout the day, just to make sure I stay healthy and just stuff like that. I know this is not exactly the same thing in terms of like, being like guilty for playing a game because you have this big project or something like that. But just like if I have those things like in line, usually I won't feel guilty about playing a game. There are exceptions, right? Like, oh, I need to call my grandma or something like that, but I just don't feel like it because I want to grind more Persona 5 Royal. That was something that happened this week that I just didn't do because I just really wanted to play. Yeah, like
I got to go hang out with Makoto.
Yeah, I got a date with Kotor.
Date,
Sorry, Graham.
Sorry. Yeah, that's sort of what's been on my mind. It's funny that we're talking about this because this kind of stuff has been on my mind lately. Because I am sort of at that point where I need to be playing less games right now, and I'm probably playing a little more than I should be, but I don't know. Sometimes I just can't help it. Like and I try to do it at night too, because like I feel less guilty when I play games at night because usually I don't have much else to be doing at night unless I was like like I could be doing any one of my things that I like to do to waste time, and nighttime is usually when I isolate that time to do that. And I've always kind of been like that. I don't like playing games during the day because it feels unproductive. Like I feel like I'm just wasting my day. But those are sort of my thoughts right now.
No, I completely agree with you on the like fitness aspect of it. 'Cause I have massive like I don't want to say addiction or like I hate using OCD because I know that people that actually are diagnosed with OCD hate when other people say it, but I can't think of another word that I can kind of use, but it annoys me. I'll say that. It annoys me a lot when I don't hit my steps for the day. And like on top of exercising and doing cardio like 4 or 5 times a week, I have to hit 15,000 steps every single day. Like it is a requirement. So there are just several nights when I will come home from work at like 6 or 7 and I'll only have like 7,000 or 8,000 steps. And it's like, all right, so I go work out, do that for about an hour, eat dinner. And it's like, all right, I have 5,000 steps left. Well, it's 9 o'clock and 5,000 steps probably is going to take me about an hour to do. So my entire rest of my night is walking for about an hour, and I can catch up on a show, get on my phone and stuff, but by the time I'm done, there's no time for video games left in the day. And that happens all the time, and it's just kind of it is what it is.
Do you feel like you need the steps though? Like why do you need to get the steps in? You know what I mean?
Yes, I used to do 10,000, which is like, that used to seem like so much, but now it's not. But typically when I was like trying to cut more, I upped my steps to around 15,000, and I'm still trying to cut right now a little bit more, and I gained a few pounds during my COVID issue because I did like, I was stuck in my room, so I, probably didn't burn a lot of calories just sitting in my room for about 2 weeks.
Just pacing back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to cut down like 3 or 4 pounds. So
I gotcha.
I'm down like 1.5 now, and in a few weeks, and it's kind of annoying me, which I'm doing fine. I'm like slowly losing it. I don't want to like severely cut my calories or whatever because I don't want to kill myself because I'm starving. So that's why I kind of up my steps just to kind of compensate a little bit. But I know at some point I'll probably drop down to around 10,000 again, and I'll have more time after that. But for now, just hitting those 15,000 is something that I'm kind of just been doing for a few weeks now. But anyways, but even besides that, it's just like being at home and not traveling anymore. It's just like being with my family and stuff. I just feel like there's just other things I could be doing besides playing games. But I'm going to start traveling again here in the next few weeks. So being in a hotel room and stuff definitely gives you an abundance of time to just play all the video games you could want. So I'll probably playing games is going to be something that I'll be doing a lot more of in the coming future. But yeah, being older and playing games, it's definitely a lot harder than it used to be back in high school when we would like I can't think of any game that I didn't beat in like a few days or like a week. Even like Skyrim or something, I remember flying through that in like a week. And now like when Starfield,
you used to know life games so much.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I remember you talking about them.
You could, dude. You stay up till midnight playing them, go to school, come home, like bull crap your homework, just play games again all day.
The best, dude.
Like when Starfield comes out or the next Elder Scrolls comes out, I'm going to be playing that game for like half a year probably. trying to get through it. So
Yeah.
So you're like a normal person now.
yeah, exactly. I can't have. I guess normal people can't be getting like 2 or 3 platinums a week like I used to.
Hate to break it to you, but no.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, what you can think about it too is that when, of course, you take care of your responsibilities for the day, is, you know, a lot of people, for example, like will just choose to sit down and watch TV for a couple hours or watch a movie before they go to bed or watch a couple episodes of a show. I mean, playing a game for a couple hours is virtually the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think I think people, like, for example, the girl I went out with associates like someone who plays games as someone who's like, which I'm guilty of this. I have in my life. All of us have at some point just sit down and play a game for like 6 hours straight, 8 hours straight, a whole day. Like I've done that, certainly.
Yeah, but what's funny is that's become like a normal thing with Netflix binging and stuff too. It's like
Right,
we're
exactly.
all guilty of it.
Yeah, so it's like people don't understand that like you can play games and both in unhealthy and unhealthy manner. But like if someone wants to, like I've had those days where I don't regret it at all, where I have nothing to do, and I'm like I have a Saturday and I'm like I can literally play Demon Souls for the next 12 hours if I feel like it. I've basically done that. But of course that's a rarity now, but day to day I realistically play games for a couple hours at night. Man, it is a good feeling, you know, especially after you actually get a good workout in or you finish your work for the day and like, you know, you don't have anything major to take care of and you can like kill a couple of hours in a game. That's a great feeling. I haven't done this in a while. I don't know why I still haven't done it in a while, but one of my favorite things I used to do is wake up like real early and like with a cup of coffee and just jump right into a game, like right out of bed. I don't know why. That's just super fun, but I haven't done that in a very long time.
Yeah.
But
it's funny you mentioned that because I have been sort of debating whether I want to start waking up at like 6 a.m. every morning. Like, because I already have to get up that early for work on some days. So it would just kind of make sense for me to always be up at that time if I could have a consistent sleep schedule where I woke up at the same time, went to bed at the same time every day, and like started my day off the same way to some extent. Because I also kind of want to start working out like first thing in the morning. So I'm sort of like going back and forth on if I want to do that and like how do I do it and how do I keep doing it, because
like discipline's tough.
Yeah, because like I've always sort of been this night owl that probably stays up a little too longer than I should, and then I wake up a little bit later than I should if I can get away with it. So I don't know. As I get older, I'm trying to sort of rethink that and think, you know, is it really what I should be doing right now? Probably not. So I don't know. Because, you know, whether you like it or not, the world operates on it during the day. And, you know, you can't really get away from that unless you have a certain profession or whatnot. Yeah. But
I cannot work out with a time period. It's like tough. I feel like I am so inefficient if I'm like constantly just looking at the clock, you know? Yeah, so if I were to wake up and it's like, all right, I have to work out in an hour, it would just stress me out.
Yeah, I can't so do that. much. I need at least an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah, at least at night, it's like, you know, there's you know, when I work out, I'm like done for the day. If it takes me like 6 hours, like, oh well, it takes me 6 hours. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always worked out at night, but it's also that thing where you get home from work or you know you've just finished work and you're like,
you have to
all right, gotta go work out.
Have to snort like 4 servings of pre-workout to walk downstairs to the gym.
And it's like, man, I'd love to just go home and, you know, do nothing, play video games.
Yeah,
but here I am. So
for sure,
that's also part of it too. But I mean, just going back on feeling guilty in general, like it's natural because as you get older, there are things that you probably should be doing that you know, video games probably don't fit into that as neatly as they used to when you had nothing to do when you were younger. And I mean, it just depends on the person, because if you have all these goals that you want to set or do in your life, then you need to make sure that you're taking steps to do those all the time. And games probably don't ever contribute to those at all. But I mean, everyone's different. Everyone wants different things. Everyone wants, you know, everyone's completely different. Like if you want to go do something or if you want to achieve something, you need to make sure that you're doing that so you don't have regrets or something like that. So,
Yeah, man, I just
Man.
really wish I could be reborn as just a drop dead gorgeous woman, and I could just play video games the rest of my life.
On the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they get a lot of harassment. I'm sure it's not as easy as it seems. But it would be nice to be, a fine looking lady. I'd be a good looking lady if I could be. Everyone would love me.
You already have some great breasts, Jacob.
Yep, halfway there.
So
That's all they are.
yeah, I mean, all that to say, like, video games, there's nothing wrong with playing them, but of course, as with moderating anything, that's, of course, entertainment is important. And I'm trying to be those guys like, this is how you should be living. We're talking about ourselves right now.
Yeah, we're not trying to make anyone feel guilty right now.
No, we're really honestly just talking about ourselves. But yeah, I also just prefer games. I'm one of those weirdos. I don't know how anyone else can relate to this, but something about midday, like through the afternoon, is like the worst part of the day to me for some reason. I just have always hated it, even when I was a kid. I don't know why. Just like 1 p.m. to like 6, I hate. I don't know why.
You don't like afternoons.
And that's what's weird is that it's like, obviously golden hour is beautiful and the sun setting. It's just I think it just goes back to me being a kid. And just something about, because I've always had a problem with sleep. Not that I don't sleep well, but I just have always hated being forced to go to sleep when I was a kid. I always had so much energy to where I just didn't want to be in bed. And I knew and I couldn't tell time when I was younger, like I was really little. So I just knew my bedtime was coming when it was like 2 or 3 p.m. My parents used to put me to bed at probably like 7 or something, or 6 when I was a kid. But they would turn on the lamps in our living room at like 4 p.m. And I knew I roughly had a couple of hours before I had to be forced into bed. So that mentally just like scarred me for life. It's like afternoon is just I just can't. It's so bad for me. So playing games in the morning and especially at night is like when I prefer to play them. And the best time I work is either early in the morning or later at night. But like midday, dude, I just can't focus for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that. Like a lot of people are feeling, tired in the afternoon, especially after lunch. Like people get tired after they eat.
Especially if you have like a big ass Taco Bell burrito for lunch or something. Like, all right, let's get back to the job.
You're like, oh,
and kill you for the rest of the day.
I had Taco Bell for the first time in like a couple months last weekend, and it made me feel crappy, really bad. But it was very delicious.
That's it's hitting you good then.
Yeah, that's when you know it's working,
dude.
It's doing its work.
I've had the nacho fries Bel Grande twice since they've come out.
Nice.
I freaking love those things. So good.
When I'm fully recovered, I'm going back to T-Bell. It's actually probably my best interest not to try it right now anyway, because this is what interesting. I've had most of the symptoms of COVID. Thankfully, none of them have been severe. And by God's grace, I've not lost my taste or smell, at least not yet. But I have experienced the taste dysphoria. And the first time I noticed it, I made some chicken tenders the other night. And I had like all these different dipping sauces. And for some reason, when I had the mustard, I was like, this tastes like poison. I was like, what in the world? So I was like, it didn't click with me at first that it was a COVID symptom. So I was like, what happened to this mustard? So I didn't think anything of it. I just avoided the mustard for the rest of that night. And then the following day, I was like, one of my favorite snacks since I was a kid is like pretzels and mustard. So I was like, I'm going to have some pretzels and mustard today. So squirted out some mustard, went to town, and like first couple bites is like, this tastes so bad. It's like unreal.
Was the bottle expired?
That's what I thought. And then I realized one, the mustard was good till 2022. So it was not expired. And then I also realized I had mustard a few days before, maybe even the day before I knew I was sick, and it tasted totally normal. So then I remember hearing about the symptom of taste dysphoria. So for some reason, thankfully nothing else has tasted weird, but mustard tastes like pure poison to me. Like it's awful. I don't know why. And I've heard about other people having that symptom. Like my mom had a work friend who loved Diet Coke, and when she had COVID, Diet Coke was like the worst thing she had ever tasted in her entire life.
I'm so glad I don't drink Diet Coke.
Yeah, so I don't know why. It's like the weirdest thing. I mean, it's one thing to like lose your taste and smell, but for something to taste completely different is so bizarre. Yeah. And it isn't like, ew, mustard. It's like, this doesn't taste like mustard is the problem.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. I'm just glad it's not peanut butter, dude, because peanut butter is like one of my favorite things on the planet. And if that tasted bad, I'd be very upset.
It's very good.
So, but Yeah. Aside from that, that's only been the really bizarre symptom. Thank the Lord. I'm hoping I'm already recovering. I feel better today than I felt a little better every day, thankfully. The only bad day was the first day. And this was 4 days before I knew I was positive. I just had a feeling in my gut that it was COVID immediately. And I had a gnarly fever. I was just totally exhausted that day. But everything after that's been pretty relaxed, fortunately.
Yeah.
So
I kind of had a scare. Like I had one day where my nose was running all day. And like I was out in the cold and stuff, but I thought for sure that I was going to get COVID. Like I just felt crappy, but I went to bed that night. Next morning, woke up, went to work, felt completely fine. So I was like, thank goodness.
Nice.
So I have been lucky, I guess. Because it seems like everyone around me is getting it but me. So
yeah, it was a miracle I hadn't had it before now, because I've been around so many people that tested positive. I was like basically right next to them like the day after they test positive. I was like, how have I not caught this yet? But finally caught it. So Here we are.
Well, I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. So
I'm actually surprised you're here doing this.
A relative excuse to play Control and all those other games we talked about.
For sure.
So, but yeah, I think we've pretty much covered that topic. But
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Before we jump into Ask IOG, I gotta pee so bad.
I do too.
So I'm gonna do that. But well, how about I bring us in? You go ahead and go. Press and I will get started, and then I'll go when you get back.
All right.
Okay. I gotta pull up our script. Where'd it go? All right, here we go. Ask IOG. Ask IOG is the part of the show where we answer your questions submitted through any of our social media at ItsObviousGaming, the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel, or email to us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. And always include the hashtag AskIOG if you want your question read live on the show. First one comes from Preston. You still there, by the way?
I am here.
Okay, cool. Patrick Mulliken writes in. Mulliken. I've got a few Ask IOG questions. Is the Switch losing its appeal to you guys? I wouldn't say it's losing its appeal to me. I just haven't really played anything on it recently that's really garnered my attention. I started Hades on it, but haven't got back to it. Loved Breath of the Wild, loved Odyssey. I still got to get to Galaxy on there. So it's just I think my priority right now is just other games, but it has certainly not lost its appeal at all. What about you, Preston?
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit for me. What was the question? I know it had something to do with the Switch.
Yeah, is the Switch losing its appeal to you?
Not really. Maybe. I just with having the PS5 and PC and not traveling as much now, I just haven't gotten as much use out of it. But I'll probably play it a lot more once Rise comes out, and Bowser's Fury and Super Mario 3D World. So there just haven't really been a ton of games out recently on it. But yeah, I'll probably get more use out of it when some stuff starts coming out. But I'm very interested in, if there is a Switch Pro, which I definitely think there will be one, I'm gonna have to get it. Like just gonna have to get it.
Yeah, just principle alone, dude.
Yeah, because Age of Calamity.
And we gotta pre-order them too, because we've seen what happened with PlayStation and Xbox. You think that's bad? Imagine how it'd be with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because like Age of Calamity is a really great game, and I'm going to finish it. I've put a ton of time into it, and I think it's super fun. But it just looks awful. It runs awful, and I feel like I'm playing like a PS2 game. And just like, man, this thing needs a massive upgrade. So yeah, I'll probably, if the Switch Pro or whatever it is a substantial or like a decent upgrade from the OG Switch, I definitely will be playing it more for sure. I don't even, at this point, I would be fine for them to just release a Switch home console version that is just a more powerful Switch that, isn't portable. I would buy that and just use like the original Switch is, just a portable one. I'd be completely fine with that.
Yeah, I've rarely taken mine anywhere.
Dan, what are you doing?
Is he sitting behind you?
He's just hogging my chair right now. Looking out the window.
Nice.
I'm going to go pee real quick if you guys want to carry on.
What was the question? Which one are we on?
It's Patrick Mullick. Oh, yeah. Is the Switch losing its appeal to you?
I guess I can answer that. Not really. I mean, I just haven't played it in a while because there's not a whole lot coming out on it. I can't remember the last thing I played. I mean, I played that Mario collection that came out.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I touched it once last year. Like it's just been sitting under my TV. It's collecting dust over there. Yeah. Like like what has come out on it? Like besides Age of Calamity, like I'm sure there's been a few things, but nothing like from Nintendo. Oh, Animal Crossing.
Animal
came out last
Crossing,
year.
which they're fine. That game sold like 31 million copies.
Yeah,
which is just absolutely staggering.
Unbelievable. I would have never said that like when that game came out that it would sell.
That game has
like
sold more than any first party Sony game ever.
It's insane to me.
It's ridiculous.
Like how?
I mean, it's just like it's a great game. I love Animal Crossing.
I'm sure it is. Like, it's just not for me though.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you were back, but yeah, we really need a Switch Pro big time. I think that will make my time with it. I'll definitely play a lot more if I had one of those things. It scares me, man. Like if they release a Switch Pro with Breath of the Wild 2, like you have my money, like immediately.
Yeah. Are we thinking that's going to come out this year? The Zelda game?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
I don't know. I would like it.
Which is fine.
I would like it to.
Yeah, I would love for that to come out.
It's just like
I'd love to play more Zelda.
Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time, but just to be able to play that at like 60 FPS or something, which I know you can do on PC through emulation, but I would love to have an experience like that on, the actual hardware itself. And
sorry, everyone. Garrett's den is on Garrett's desk,
just like staring at the computer. But yeah, I would love in Metroid Prime 4 as well. Like I would love to play that with better visuals and frame rate and stuff. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
totally
Switch
agree.
is the more we're playing PC, the more we're playing PS5 and stuff. Just this Switch just looks ancient at this point. So
yeah, it kind of is. It's been out for 4-5 years.
2017.
Oh wow, 2017.
Yep.
Jeez, it's coming up on 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
So this March will be
it was underpowered compared to everything else when it came out back then. So
yikes.
Where are we at in this question?
I don't think we moved on at all. I've just been
talking about
my
the Switch.
opinions.
Yeah, we're just dunking on the Switch.
It's a toy console, dude. It's a toy.
Kind of is. I mean, Nintendo's a toy company.
Yeah, pretty much. But make some stellar games.
Yeah, when they make them.
I could play some Mario Tennis too, if I'm being honest. It's a shame I lost my Switch. I didn't have anything cloud saved because I lost everything. Tennis, Breath of the Wild, whatever else I was playing at the time.
You sound like you really miss it. Tennis, Breath of the Wild, everything else.
I have to rebuy everything. I had to rebuy Mario Kart. Nintendo, man, they don't mess around. I pay full $60 for Mario Kart again.
No cutting corners.
So that's why I haven't dabbled in Breath of the Wild or anything again, because I have to pay full price for all the games again.
Yeah.
So
just wait for the new one.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Do you think there's a chance of Microsoft acquiring Sega?
I haven't read into this. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm not sure.
This has been a rumor for a bit. I don't know if there's any like smoke. I think it's just there apparently are a few or another acquisition that Microsoft's supposed to be doing. And like I said, there's been some smoke around Sega. But yeah, I have no clue if that's actually going to be a thing or not. I think the the biggest thing anybody could get from Sega would be probably the Yakuza series and Atlas, the Persona
Atlas.
series.
Dude, Sonic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would not
dude.
be happy if Persona wasn't on PlayStation anymore. That would make me unhappy.
Yeah,
Unless it was on PC.
My inner fanboy would come out there if that was the case.
I feel like Persona belongs on
My
PlayStation.
trophies.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. They're supposed to buy somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
That's their plan, man. Just buy everything to compete with the Avengers squadron that is the PlayStation Studios.
did y'all see that this wasn't like a big story, but MLB The Show is coming to Xbox now?
Uh-huh.
I did hear that.
Which it is it's pretty wild to see the PlayStation Studios logo on an Xbox box.
I bet.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Dude, got him.
Yeah.
Tagged, dude.
All part of the plan.
Right. I'm sure if like Starfield or whatever, if it ends up coming out for PlayStation, they might have Microsoft Studios slapped on there.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Sure they would.
Well, it's not a micro. Well, the thing is that I don't know if it's technically a Microsoft Studios. Well, they own it.
They're publishing it, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
You would assume that
I
Microsoft
wonder-
is publishing all the games.
I
for
wonder
all
if
these
Deathloop
studios.
and Ghostwire Tokyo will also have that. Dude, how wild would that be when Microsoft is publishing a PlayStation exclusive with Deathloop and Ghostwire? That
The
would
world
be
we're living in.
nuts
Sounds like intentional
to
sabotage.
have that on the box.
Destroying them from the inside.
Man,
That was our plan all along.
wild.
Meanwhile, you just thought we were doing a subscription.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm totally fine with all this Bethesda stuff being Microsoft exclusive if I can upgrade my GPU finally. So
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully
I
one
will
day.
gladly pay a pretty penny for a good GPU.
I mean, if you
Yeah, if
want
you-
to pay a really pretty penny, you could buy one today. I'm
Yeah,
sure
go ahead.
some guy on eBay would love to sell you one for like
Mhm.
$2,000.
I'm thinking I would max pay right now like $1,200 for a GPU.
Well, you can do that.
I would want one. I would want like the 3070 preferably though.
Oh, for $1,200 for a 3070?
I'm saying like if push came to shove and like by the end of the year they still weren't in stock, I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I would wait a little bit longer for
But
that.
I'm not that eager to have one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
That's
like when
like
all these like
double the
really big
price.
AAA, especially these new AAA single player experiences that are potentially, I mean, most of which I'd prefer to play on PC anyway, but especially non-exclusive PlayStation titles. I want to play
Dude,
on
I mean,
PC
if
with
you're
an upgrade
prepped
GPU.
to pay something like that, I would just get a 3080, dude. Or the 3080 Ti might be out at that point. Who knows?
Yeah, my struggle is that is that the bigger one? Or is that only the 3090 is the bigger one?
The
That's what I meant. The 3080 is what I meant. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, the 3090 is the one that's like the size of a
Gigantic.
freaking, yeah, I don't even, it's big.
Yeah, I mean, if the 3080 fits in my case, I'm okay, but I may have to like
It should.
go that whole route.
I mean, I would get a new case anyways because you still have the CyberPower PC stock case.
yeah. And I don't
Oh, yeah. You
need-
need to get a new case.
I don't need a 4K monitor, but I'd want to buy one too. I mean, if you're going to go all in on that GPU, I know it's a lot of it has to do with performance too. And
Yeah.
most
Well-
games I'd play at 2K probably, but it is nice having that 4K option.
What are your monitors right now?
It's a,
Or do you just have one?
it's a 2K 144, but,
So you just have
I've
one?
had it for a while, so I'd like to upgrade that too, probably.
Well, you could have two monitors.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably hang on to this one, or I'd probably give it to Zach. I've talked to Zach about giving him
I
some
would-
of my old parts because
I
he's
mean,
been
I-
trying to get a decent PC. We were going to get back into Old Republic recently, and
you
dude, that
told me.
game it's hilarious because I used to play my sister's old like Asus laptop
I
and
remember.
ran at like 25 frames a second and like low settings, and that game doesn't look half bad. I had ultra settings, like 144 locked FPS. And it looked great. And I was like, dude, I'm so excited to play this with Zach. And Zach got a like hand-me-down PC from his dad. And that game like ran at like 7 frames a second on his dad's PC. So he couldn't do it. And I was like actually bummed about that. So I considered like, well, maybe I'll start a Sith character and just play solo for a while, see how I like it. Because I always wanted to try a Sith character. But I haven't done it yet.
No.
So That's another reason for me to upgrade. The sooner I can upgrade, the sooner Zach can have a PC. So I'm just going to give him any old parts I don't need. There will be some stuff I told him he'd have to buy, but like some of the bigger things he could just take from me.
I mean, you could just build a completely new PC and then just give him your old one.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that. I don't think I need to do that quite yet is the thing. So
I mean, you could build a pretty good PC. I mean, unless you want one of the new cards. I mean, it might be hard to find, but everything else is not that bad right now. I was kind of looking into some power supplies and a new motherboard just because I was thinking about maybe starting to look at the new cards here in a little bit. But I was like, I always just use PC part picker, and I just like I like just looking at all these people's builds because you can like the way where they've found stuff and what they put together. It's really not that bad. Like that's for the most part what I did with my current PC like 2 or 3 years ago when I built it. Was I just found someone's already made PC, all the parts were there, and I just changed a few things, and then I just ordered it all. It was easy.
nice.
But yeah. But good luck with your card search.
I haven't actually searched. I'm just going to wait until there's like a headline. It's like, hey, you can buy them now.
Yeah.
So cool. Patrick also asks, how are you enjoying your PS5s now that we're about 4 months in?
Well, I've criminally underused my PS5, but now that I'm back playing Royal on it, it's fine, I guess. I mean, I love that controller. It's really nice to hold, although Royal doesn't really take advantage of the PS5 at all. But I mean, it's fine.
I seem to be playing more PS4 games on it than PS5 games recently.
Which is to be
not a whole lot
expected
out
of a
yet.
new console generation at the beginning. I've gotten a lot of mileage though out of my PS5. Specifically, like, I mean, I've spent most of my time on it playing either PlayStation 5 games or games that have been optimized for PlayStation 5. So I'm loving it. Like,
dude, Miles Morales is so good.
Yeah, Morales is exceptional.
I know Demon Souls is awesome.
Demon Souls is outstanding. That's been like the bulk of my experience on PlayStation 5 is that. Astrobot's Playroom is incredible.
Very solid.
Even like I said, the optimized PlayStation 4 games like Ghost of Tsushima in 60 FPS is sick.
Dude, Days Gone felt like a next gen game.
Oh yeah, I meant to tell you that. I totally forgot, dude. I played like 10 hours of Days Gone on PS5. Yeah, this was weeks ago, though. I like completely forgot about it. I didn't want to play it anymore after that.
Okay.
I started and played about 10 hours. I'm like, I can see what this is doing. This is pretty cool. I just don't really feel like playing it right now, but it ran beautifully on PS5.
Dude. It is
phenomenal.
Silky smooth on PS5.
Oh, yeah. It looked really good, too, and I liked what I played. I just wasn't interested in playing that kind of game at the time.
For sure.
But it was really good, so.
That being on PS5, I think if, like, you're in a rating game, like scoring system, I think that bumps that game up like at least a point or two.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because I remember you talking about that, and then because I never experienced it on PS4, and then jumping into PS5, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, dude, aiming was straight booty on PS4 in that game, and it was just super frustrating. But yeah, that issue is completely gone on PS5.
Nice.
At least for me personally, it felt like booty.
Yeah, I just can't wait for these other new exclusives, notably Ratchet and Clank. Do we have a release date for that? I can't remember.
Nope.
Man, that's such a shame.
No.
Should be in the first half of the year. I imagine.
PS5
That is the
games.
perfect summer game to me, is Ratchet and Clank.
I mean, technically, which I don't believe it, but we're supposed to be getting, in terms of PlayStation console exclusives, we've got Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop, Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet and Clank, and God of War sequel, which I don't believe that for a second, but that's what is
all supposed to come this year.
Yes,
that would be insane.
Which I believe everything but God of War. I think Horizon will come out this year.
I'd be blown away if the sequel to that God of War game came out a short 3 years later. That's got to be impossible.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
4 years, that's realistic, but 3, that'd blow my mind.
Yeah.
Especially after last year and COVID and everything, there's no way.
I think Horizon and maybe like a surprise something else this holiday season is a pretty solid lineup for PS5.
Astrobots 2.
We'll get something like that at some point.
Maybe.
Kind of like how we got the VR Astrobot
Yeah.
last year, but I think it was received so well. I think they should go all in, dude. Like freaking Super Mario Odyssey with these little Astrobot guys. I think that'd be so cool.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping even some third-party developers will take advantage of the DualSense to a degree, because I know Control is a PlayStation game, but is Control multi-platform? I can't remember.
Yeah, Control's on everything. You can even play Control on Switch through the cloud streaming.
That's even more encouraging then, because they take really good advantage. I mean, I've only played a little bit of it, but even just, of course, pulling the triggers with the guns, just that's awesome with any game that's used it. But also, I even like the Astrobot effect of feeling your footsteps in the controller. That was one of my favorite controller features from Astrobot, just the different ways his feet felt on different platforms, different surfaces. I think the most mind-blowing surface was like skating on ice in that game. Was fascinating. So I think that's just like a really that's something that can be easily overlooked, of just the sensation of walking in a game can be very immersive if you implement it properly. And I was telling Preston this, I can see some people being annoyed by like the idea of just feeling like a slight rumble in your hands every time you're moving in a game. And you could just have the option of like turn off that effect if you don't want it or something. But I know that's a lot of extra work, I imagine, for developers to like implement not only those features, but give people the option to turn them on and off. But I think it'd be really great if they did. Like Bethesda, like Elder Scrolls, I guess you won't be playing it on PlayStation anymore, but I'm trying to think of another third-party example that would make sense. Like maybe in like something very mainstream like 2K, like when you dribble the ball, you can feel it.
Well, apparently in 2K, you can feel the resistance on the trigger to sprint feels different depending on how tired the player is, like his fatigue bar.
That's cool.
It becomes like easier to press down or harder to press down the more tired the player is. I remember.
It'd be really cool is if when you're dribbling in either hand, let's say you're dribbling with your right hand, you can feel it in like the right handle, like it's hitting near your foot on the floor. Or if you cross over, you can feel it a little more on the left. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
I like that.
I'm pumped to see what a death loop does, because I think that weapon jamming feature they talked about just sounds so cool. Not being able to like fully pull the trigger down if your weapon's jammed.
The thing about that too is that like that's the divide that I have with the PlayStation controller, is that a lot of me wants to play anything that has any sort of ranged combat. I just automatically think it's got to be PC for me.
Yeah.
But with the controller that feels that good, it's like I want to feel it still.
Yeah.
But that's what's hard. Is that Deathloop screams PC to me.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely screams PC.
Sure.
But like at the same time, I'd love to feel those features.
Yeah.
So.
100%. And Arcane doesn't have the best track record with aiming FPS wise on console.
Yeah.
So that kind of has me, leaning more towards PC as well.
Man, I'd even dabble in Dishonored. Just those games, just being in those worlds is enjoyable.
For sure.
Man. And we got a lot out of Patrick's questions there. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have time to do everyone's this week. There's a lot of them, which is great. We'll have more for next week. But Carlos
next
writes
podcast. I don't know if we'll be here next week. Let's be honest here.
Maybe.
We don't know when we come back anymore.
Right. Carlos writes in and says, what's good? Eogs. Eog. I haven't given it the old Eog in a while.
Thanks for that.
Currently sipping on some ice cold Baja Blast as I type this, but that's besides the point. Just had to flex real quick. Oh yeah,
bastard.
Dude, that something about Carlos using that Yoshi emote is just the funniest thing every time I see it. Any ideas for next gen hardware? Like what you guys would like to see? Maybe a Microsoft VR set for Xbox, PlayStation Elite controller, Xbox handheld, or Vita 2.0 with compatibility with PS5. Be creative, y'all.
You're asking people that aren't creative to be creative,
right? We've been creative before. Just listen to us talk about a bounty hunting Star Wars game, or just go on like rants about Hogwarts Legacy. I think one could argue that the DualSense is like the ultimate Elite controller presently, minus like having features like back paddles and stuff. But just technology in general, like that's a pretty elite controller already. So it's hard to imagine. And I think I read something about them patenting some sort of technology like Wi-Fi. They're going to add to it to like reduce latency or something.
Yeah, I think that was an article yesterday.
I haven't noticed any gnarly latency on my end yet, but if it's going to even improve it even more, like by all means, go for it.
Yeah, I've been playing rhythm games the past couple of nights and no latency on my end.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just want a black.
I
want a black controller, please. That's as next gen as I want.
Yeah. And that's the thing is the white is cool because it's different, and it definitely felt even more like a leap from last generation just because the appearance is just so different. But every time I see a matte black PlayStation 5 and just like mock-ups of matte black controllers, I'm like, that is just so sick. It's ridiculous.
So let's have fun with this for a second. Like, assuming that we did get a black controller, would you want the black strips on the inside of the handles to be black still? Or do you want it to be a different color?
I want it all black.
I'd say so.
I've already, my PS5 is already black. My charging dock is black. So I just need an all black controller now.
Yeah.
That's inevitable, I think. We'll probably eventually see like a PlayStation 1 retro one down the line, like they did with PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no doubt we're going to have other controllers.
No, I know. I was just, it was more a joke on my part because I know that's not exactly what he was asking.
Yeah.
Carlos is like, let's hear about some new next gen hardware. We're like immediately like all about PlayStation.
I need
not fanboys.
I need a Switch Pro or something, man. Like that's the biggest next gen thing for me. Like, and I was dead serious.
When you say Switch Pro, like go a little in depth in this. It's like beyond 1080p.
I would be fine, dude. I would be fine with just a dedicated. Like, I guess it wouldn't even be called a Switch at that point, or like Switch Stay at Home Edition. Like, I want a Nintendo console that I can just put down there with my other things and, play these, Breath of the Wild 2 and Metroid Prime 4, these upcoming Switch games at, as high as in, as high fidelity as possible. I want a high frame rate.
That's entirely out of the question because we have the Switch Lite that doesn't have the removable Joy-Cons. So that's like only on the go version. Like, why not double down and be like the only at home version?
Yeah, and then just have the middle ground with the OG Switch that has like, I don't
Joy-Con drift.
Yeah, exactly. But I just like I said, just playing going back to some Switch games now. It's just like, holy crap! Like, man, this needs some beefing up, and it makes sense, dude. Like Jacob just kind of made the point a few questions ago that this console came out in 2017, and even at that time, it was underpowered. So this is like a 4-year-old console, 3-year-old console that was underpowered originally when it came out, and now with the
sold gangbusters.
Yeah, and I know that like the Animal Crossing sold 31 million copies. The next Mario, like all these games are gonna run fine on it. But just for me, like I want to play the next Zelda game without worrying about the frame rate dips that were in the Lost Woods. I want to play the new Metroid Prime game and not have it scaled back or like have the ambition of that game reduced just because of the hardware that it has to be made
imagine
for.
a Metroid Prime in like 4K, minimum 60 FPS. It'd be
and awesome, I know to some extent they have to
of that on Switch.
If this thing even exists, they would have to, kind of like the Xbox Series X to the Xbox One. Like they have to keep in mind that this game does have to work on lesser hardware. But I don't know, just kind of playing PS4 games that have a uncapped frame rate on PS5 has just been so cool, and I would love to see that for Switch titles. Like playing Days Gone, a game that performed adequate on a PS4, and then just like blowing it out of the water with PS5, just seeing what it like truly can be. Like I would love to have that feeling with Switch games.
Yeah, I feel like we've been having the same discussion.
Doesn't Odyssey run in 60 FPS?
It does.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like Nintendo, I say this now, and I'm sure Breath of the Wild 2 will come out and it'll run fantastic and look fine. And so I'm sure I'm just really...
Odyssey, dude, what a phenomenal game.
Yeah, and I'm sure Metroid Prime 4 will be freaking amazing too. Like Nintendo knows how to take advantage of
Mhm.
their hardware and make it make their games the best they can
Is
possibly
there still
be.
a rumored collection, or is that something we just said was a good idea? I can't remember.
Metroid Prime?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Still a rumor.
Yes. I mean, it's like one of those rumors that has happened so many times and it's been listed on so many different websites that it's like just, it is for the most part confirmed. It's just, I think they'll probably put it out when, Metroid Prime 4 is, they kind of know when that's, time frame of that coming out or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like top 3, at least in recent history, that have never made more sense, that things that need to exist are, of course, the Mass Effect trilogy being, at the very least, just ported to next-gen consoles or whatever, but remastered, Diablo 2 remade, and then definitely Metroid. Like, those 3, like, make so much sense, it's ridiculous. Especially because they're leading to future projects within those IP.
Well, Metroid...
I got really good news for you, Garrett.
Metroid technically has been released. The trilogy has been put out together on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
But, they definitely need to be on
like,
Switch.
what is Nintendo's strategy with holding back on like so many other games they could have ported to the Switch by now?
Well, Zelda's 35th anniversary is this year. So
we talked about this last episode too, I think.
There has to be something announced. Absolutely has to.
It'll be like, here's a new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2.
Or
that would be good.
I mean, we're gonna.
I'd like to see that.
There is not a universe where Wind Waker or Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, those games are not on Switch. At
least one of them.
It cannot happen. It can't. It's just win.
I agree. The best thing they could do is like have a fully dedicated. When is the exact anniversary?
I do not know offhand.
Whatever day it is, they need a Nintendo Direct that's solely focused on Zelda. And we get a full in-depth look at Breath of the Wild 2, and then they also announce basically what you're describing. Even if it's not all at once, let's say like over the next 6 months, these games are going to roll out on
February 21st.
Oh, dude, that's prime time for some Zelda news. That's prime time.
That might be when our next podcast goes live.
There hasn't been any like talk of a direct or anything, but that is technically the date. Yep, February 21st, 1986. The first Zelda game was
What
released.
day of the week is the 21st? Let me see.
Today's the 7th, so
that is a Sunday.
It'll be a Sunday.
So probably not on that. Have they ever done a Direct on a weekend?
No. Definitely not on a Sunday, I don't think.
And maybe that following week, we'd see something.
Probably before that.
Yeah, so Nintendo has not announced whether they will be marking Zelda's 35th birthday or not. Like they haven't made an announcement yet, but I don't know. They did it with Mario though.
No, it's Mario,
Yeah,
I mean, I know Zelda's just as important.
Zelda. Nobody cares about Zelda. I
think Mario's more important. Like, come on.
You're right. Yeah, Zelda's not important.
I mean, I think I like Zelda more than Mario. I think, but I mean, I'm not everyone.
Dude, I named my
history.
dog's name is Zelda. It's kind of a big deal, dude.
Fair point.
It's kind of a big deal.
I think that proves
me wrong. Out of those two
there.
characters, only one has brought me to tears as a grown man, so just saying.
Yeah, well, you need to get your priorities straight, sir. If you want to cry Zelda tears, just watch the Switch release date trailer.
Yeah, you sent that to me.
That
before.
is the most epic trailer of all time. Hands down, dude. That thing will just wreck you.
Mario had me at Yahoo! God, we're so off topic with this question. Well, not really. Okay.
Yeah, the hardware. So better Switch. Stay at home.
I'd love to see a
edition.
new Vita. Like now that I've
my Vita over on my shelf over there. I have Persona 5 Golden on it.
Dude.
4.
Persona 4 Golden.
That's what I meant, yeah.
I would love to play Persona on a Switch. I feel like that's where Persona 5 should be. Like having never even used a Vita before. Like it just feels like a handheld game. Like you can tell. Like it's just like one of those games where you can just drop and go so easily. Like it almost feels weird just sitting on a couch playing Persona 5 because sometimes like you're just not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like you're just clicking through conversations and just walking around. Like you could do that anywhere. So So I see how like where it came from. Like it just makes sense to me.
Or aren't you a smart guy, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, I came up with that all by myself.
I don't think Microsoft necessarily needs maybe an Xbox headset. But
Yeah.
I mean, I always think of Microsoft just so beyond Xbox at this point.
How about
that they have,
Microsoft makes a console that doesn't suck ass? How about that?
The console is good. What do you mean? You fanboy.
What he means to say is a slew of games, which is probably inevitable at this point. That's just a killer lineup.
I'm totally
on
kidding.
Hey, we're
Xbox.
still waiting. Where are they?
They're coming, dude. They're coming.
Yeah.
Most
We have
anticipated
Indiana
Fable.
Jones.
Indiana Jones, Fable. I have very
Perfect
little
Dark.
faith in.
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
The new Ninja Theory game, Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't finished Hellblade 1.
Good game.
It's such a sick title too. And Endwalker, Hellblade. Great names.
Endwalker. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Um
Halo Infinite, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean all the the stuff, like the assets they've released. They look good. We just haven't seen them in action.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very. There's no hype for me in Halo Infinite, man. Like I want to be hyped so bad, but
Hey man,
Hopefully whatever they show
better to
off
be
next is, like,
surprised with how
amazing.
good it is than disappointed.
that's the thing too about and Joseph Staten, super nice guy. But he he was involved heavily with. I think he was just the marketing guy for Crackdown 3, but that game was atrocious. And I know he was very involved with the original Halo trilogy, so I'm hoping that like in a more predominant authoritative role with 343, he'll actually correct where the game's desperately
I
struggling.
don't know if anybody could have saved Crackdown just through what
No,
that
that
game
was,
went through.
Man, even
to
when I
come out.
previewed that, I was like, holy crap. I was like, I cannot believe how, like, it wasn't even necessarily that it's like a bad game. It's just like, this is so dated. It's just ridiculous. It felt like a PS2 game. So that's way off topic as well. Dude, a better Crackdown on Xbox, please. The proper sequel.
Please. That's what we need.
I'm trying to think of any cool peripherals that PlayStation 5 could do. I mean, their
What
VR
would you
headset
like to
at this
see?
point would
Yeah,
be
no.
even better with PS5 because the controller would help. But
Yeah, let's get
at
a
the end of the
headset
day, if
and a
they were ever to-
controller that isn't confined to a camera. How about
exactly. Yeah, I was going to say if they want to double down on VR, like they got to really upgrade that big time.
that? Yeah.
Preston,
But-
I think you kind of made a good point about Xbox earlier about how the console just sucks because they really downgraded in terms of the space for your feet on the new console.
I know. Like, where are they supposed to go?
Like, are you kidding me? Like, I
They
can barely put my feet on
They
that
took
thing.
a step in the right direction by putting a exhaust up there to warm your feet, but you can't put both of them side by side up there.
Yeah, what if it's hot in my room? Like, I don't want hot air blowing on my feet.
Yeah.
Just don't
Bastards.
run any demanding games. You'll be all right. Oh man, those jokes are just—they're the best.
They're the chef's
Well, we're not
kiss.
joking. I can't think of any other wild creative peripherals, honestly.
I think it's a good time to move on then.
Yeah, that was a
What do
fun
you
one,
think?
though.
It was fun. It's been good so far.
Ronnie Garcia writes in and says, since the new year I platinumed RE3 Remake and Bully, currently going for the Doom 2016 Platinum. Question,
Nice.
members only or outsider, Veil of Maya?
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a hard one.
I'm a members only man, I think. I like Outsider a lot, but members
Yeah.
only is just a real groovy tune.
Members,
Those are song names, right?
Yeah.
And then Matriarch or False Idol, I'm a huge Matriarch fan over False Idol, but False Idol does kick ass.
I can only answer the first one because I haven't listened to a whole lot of Veil of Maya, but I like members only a lot. I still listen to that whenever it comes on.
Yeah, and False Idol's excellent, but Matriarch is still just like an aging wine. It's like every time I listen to it, it's like I didn't even pick up that nuance in the guitar last time.
I have a just like, I don't want to say nostalgic factors towards Matriarch, but I think I listened to that so frequently when it came out that it's just forever ingrained into my brain.
Right.
So,
dude, you and I were listening to that every day, practically all day when we were on that Woodstock job for 15 weeks.
Yeah. So there's like literally a compartment in my brain that is specifically for that album.
Yeah.
So definitely that album holds a high place, you know, in my heart. But love False Idol has some of the most disgustingly amazing lyrics I've ever read.
It's gnarly. It's very, very metal to say the least.
Like that one, Whistleblower. I think the very beginning of that song talks about crap. I'll shatter your bones, and to your widowed wife I'll serve your remains. Like, it's pretty metal.
Pretty metal.
But anyways, but yeah, I'm a members only guy too. That is, like you said, that is an extremely groovy tune.
Mm-hmm. And you can like dance to that. It's like metal you can literally dance to. And I don't even mean just like hardcore dancing. This is the funniest video.
Squidward interpretive dance.
I gotta dig it up and send it to you later. But yeah, pretty much. So it's like going to the metal disco with that song.
Yeah. Man, where's that new album, dude? I need it.
Oh, I know. Like, what's going on? Like, it's about time.
Yeah.
They need to do a live stream show like these other bands have been doing.
That would be sick.
I think that was the question.
One more, Garrett.
Okay, let's see.
I need to be done here soon.
I'm trying to think of one that'd be really great to end on for the entirety of the everyone listening.
Got quite a few to choose from. I'll go ahead and delete the ones we've done already, so we won't be confused next time. I'll wait till you pick one though, so it doesn't move them up.
So pecan pie, huh?
Gosh, get out of here.
Pecan pie. I guess we'll just go to the next one on the list.
Okay.
All right, big finale from your boy Calmo. And everyone who wrote in, thank you so much. We are heartily supplied for the next 1 or 2 episodes. Calmo writes in and says, "Hey fellas, hope you're having a wonderful day or evening or whatever. It is certainly a wonderful day here in Georgia. It's stunning. I've got a question for you boys, and it may not be the most interesting one, but I can't be the only one thinking this. Recently, I finally got into playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I've been loving it so far. But I've discovered something that drives me insane with some games like this, and it's the climbing sections. In places where they could have easily put a staircase, there's these annoying swinging sections and vine sections that just drive me not completely insane, but annoy me. Just enough to where I wish they were out of the game. So what I have to ask y'all is, would you rather have more straightforward paths so you can go through certain areas and not have to deal with these slow, annoying areas, or have them there for fun, or for the fun of it? Keep up the great works, and hope y'all are doing good in the new year so far." Como, likewise, brother. Thanks for writing in.
Yeah.
I can relate to this, especially when a game has very bad traversal mechanics and platforming mechanics. It is annoying, but I can't really name off the top of my head a game recently I've played that has that. But
this is an interesting point, because I have also had an internal debate with myself about this. Mm-hmm. And the first game that comes to my mind is the Uncharted series. Because when you truly think about it, what is the point of the Uncharted climbing sections? Because they're
just to get somewhere.
They're to get somewhere. They look cool, but in terms of gameplay, you can't really lose unless you just purposely just drop, you know?
Right.
Like
I think they're entirely there to create a transition.
Yeah.
And also to create a narrative, right?
I guess, but I think in Fallen Order, for instance, that's kind of what I got out of it. There are just some environments in that game that are like ruined, or there's like shit parts in the way. It kind of builds out that this area has seen some stuff, and you know,
it doesn't help that you have to like retread through those planets too.
Yeah.
I think that's what's annoying about that game, is that it isn't just one and done. I mean, you're going back, not every section, but a lot of the sections you're having to retraverse and do the same thing over again.
I think it's criminal that that game doesn't have like fast travel or something like that, right? It doesn't, or does it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can go from like what's essentially a bonfire in those games, like bonfire to bonfire. Like from what I remember,
you can't, because like you land on the planet and then you just have to get.
Now I remember that because I had one more poncho or like lightsaber part to get for the platinum or whatever the final achievement was in that game to get 100%, and I had to just run all the way through Kashyyyk to get to it, and it was like the deepest part of the map to get to, and then annoyed the heck out of me.
Added it? I don't think.
I know there are like shortcuts though that you can unlock. It's still annoying. But
there's still those transitions where you're like shimmying through a crack in a wall.
Those are obviously for loading and stuff.
Yeah, the silver lining of Jedi Fallen Order's traversal is that at least it's silky smooth because it's respawn. I mean, mechanically they're just super strong. So that game feels really good to like swing on a vine and then slide down a ramp and then
wall run,
shimmy across something.
Like
but
that.
Yeah, it is annoying having to go through like the same sections over and over again. I probably went through that ice level at the beginning, that where you can go through like the underground part, and it's like it's not really a shortcut. It's one of the main paths where you slide through a series of ice ramps to get down.
Yeah, and you have to jump through those blades.
Through that thing every time. I probably jumped through that 50 times while playing that game. So that's the thing. It's like I love Fallen Order. I think it's a phenomenal game, but I always think about like it could be so much better than it already is.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna play through it again on EA Play on PS5 with that update they added.
Is it 60 FPS or something?
Yes. Yeah, they updated it to where it's 60.
That's cool.
So I definitely would love to. That's one of those games I would love to play through again on PlayStation just to get the platinum, and just because it's just a really fun game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm down for like the Dark Souls inspiration, the Metroidvania stuff. I just think, and the combat is good. But we've said this 100 times, but like ever since Tsushima, dude, I'm like, dude, give me a lightsaber game like that. That's it right there. So good. But we'll see what they do.
For sure.
So they're definitely like probably neck deep in the development of the sequel of that.
Hope so.
So.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I guess what would fix the problem in Fallen Order, for instance, would be to add kind of like a fast travel system. Because if you've already gone through those, like if there's a platform, for instance, that ramp that you have to keep going down, like I know how to do it. I've done it. So let me fast travel.
Yeah. And I think Calmo may be referring specifically. There are some areas that I can think of in other parts of levels that really are just climbing.
Yeah.
And the climbing is not bad. It's the most uninteresting part of the gameplay. So doing climbing sections in particular over and over and over again really does suck.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I will defend that like it sort of creates like a unique experience in terms of like getting to a place that you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I feel like you can do that in other ways that are more fun too.
Yeah. And I do need to, I'll defend Uncharted a little bit because I brought it up, but they did, especially in 4, they added that spike that you could stick into some surfaces. The grappling hook was added. So
yeah, Uncharted 4's traversal is easily the best.
Yeah, they did try and innovate on it just so you weren't just, crawling up something like you were in the first 3.
Yeah.
I know you can use the rope in combat, but can you use the spike as well? I can't remember.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, that'd be M-rated Uncharted.
That's what we need.
I mean, he's already killing everyone in his path anyway. Why stop there?
Yeah. The Last of Us is in the same universe as Uncharted, so some pretty effed up stuff goes down.
Right. Yeah, it's different for me in every game, but that's a great point. Like, I think the solution in Fallen Order in particular is fast travel. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing worse than when a game just has crappy platforming mechanics. It's the worst. Mm-hmm. So, like Hitman, for example, has platforming traversal to an extent, but it's very minimal. And if I had to do a lot of that and was forced to, thankfully it's like always an option. You never really, I think the only time you're ever forced to climb around stuff is the first Dubai mission in Hitman 3. But aside from that, from what I'm aware, you don't have to do that anywhere else. So, but again, not bad. It's just very uninteresting compared to everything else.
Like, talk about boring climbing. Assassin's Creed, dude. It's gotten to the point where it just hold up.
And it used to be really interesting. I think the prime climbing was Unity by far.
Yeah.
So, Man, the potential of Assassin's Creed with Hitman elements. Don't make it Hitman, but just like elements of like, here's your target. Here's a million ways to take him out. Here's all these like ancient in whatever time period you're in tools you have at your disposal. Here are your contacts that can either help you or aid you in some way in creative ways. Here are like cool ways to escape versus just running and hiding in a crowd or like hiding in a haystack or something. You can do so much.
They tried to do that with Unity and Syndicate for like the big profile missions. It's just like there was like really kind of only one cool way to do the assassination. Like I remember one in Syndicate where you could disguise yourself as a cadaver to get to this doctor, and they'd like roll you in, and when he's like about to inspect the body, you just like stab him in the head with the hidden blade, which was cool. But it'd be so sick if, like Hitman, in that mission, that was just one of the several ways you could get to the target. You know,
right? And part of me, it's like so many games in the mind. Part of me just want to just dabble in Syndicate because I really like that time period in London.
Yeah, and, that's a pretty rated Assassin's Creed because I recently played through that probably about 2-ish years ago. Actually, it was right before Resident Evil 7 came out. I was playing that game, and I had a surprising amount of fun.
For it way back in the day on our channel.
Yeah.
It was right before we went to see some movie. I can't remember what movie it was. Do you remember that night?
I do remember that.
Yeah, well, I was holding Jax the whole video.
I do.
I don't remember what movie it was.
I don't remember. I do remember that.
That just made me realize that I haven't played Assassin's Creed since Unity.
Goodness.
Whoa, dude. Dude, I know Evie. Is it Evie Clark is the sister?
Evie Fry.
Evie Fry. What's her brother's name again?
His name was... oh, man. It's such just a generic Englishman name.
John.
Evie and holy crap,
insane.
What's his
McGregor.
name?
Evan. Bobby.
Evie Fry and her brother Jacob Fry.
Jacob Fry. Dude, look at that, Jacob. You haven't even played Syndicate?
Wow.
Dude,
yeah,
that
just a
character's
super
based after you,
generic,
man.
dumb name. I can't think of it.
Dude, it's like the stupidest name I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's great.
Jacob's a wonderful name. It's a biblical name.
It is.
Yeah, I think that's it for me today, boys.
Cool.
Excellent. Me too.
Sick.
Guys, we had a good show.
Yeah, it was. It was an honor as always. This is a long one, dude. We've been going since like 10:45, I think.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Getting close to 3 hours.
And this will be up. I know people listen to this at different times, but this will probably be up later this evening because I have time to edit today. So
on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh yeah, I don't even have a way to watch the Super Bowl at my place. Actually, I do. I think I do have a way. So
gotcha.
I have one of those Roku things. So there's got to be a way to watch it through that.
You guys picking a favorite, or do you not care?
I don't care, but I mean, since Tom Brady's like the living legend, like why not just keep going? So, Bucks.
That's
dude.
why I'm not picking him. He's had enough fun. Okay, let's let the young.
Let's see how long he can go. He's a
one.
pretty old man at this point. Like if he's still winning, that's pretty remarkable.
It is. It would be remarkable if he won again. I mean, he did just build another super team, as I mentioned earlier. But
yeah, like the modern sports legends of our time, like Tiger Woods, LeBron James. You could throw Kobe in there too, but LeBron James and Tom Brady, man.
Trace McSorley.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Chad Johnson.
I don't know who that is.
Usain Bolt. Michael Phelps.
He's the backup quarterback on the Ravens. He played for Penn State. He just for some reason became a meme about being like the greatest quarterback in the NFL. I don't know why, but
I was about to make a really insensitive joke, but I'm not going to do it. It had to do with the college football team.
Yeah, let's not do anything about that.
Yeah.
No college football in the off season. I can't take it.
Dude, NCAA coming back though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, we didn't even talk about that. Goodness.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it really quick.
I mean, there's nothing to talk about.
Excited.
I'm very excited. I just hope it comes out in the next like 5-ish years. Yeah.
That's what do you got to do to like take Madden and skin it with college football? More, I know there's totally different systems.
Dude, I'm pumped about
mechanically it's there.
The the career mode as a coach, dude, with them adding like the transfer portal and like almost like what is free agency now in college football. That would be so freaking cool to manage a team with all that stuff going on.
This is Preston's dream right now. He's gotten really into the management side of football in the last few years.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I love NCAA 14 building, like taking freaking Army and turning them into like a freaking like
national championship,
6 year in a row, like national championship powerhouse. So yeah, I definitely want to do that. I'm just worried that they will just, their first outing will just be like slapping a skin and just like having no in-depth career mode or anything like that. Just keep the corny, crappy story mode voice acting crap. Just get rid of it. It's absolute trash. I don't want it in the game. Just make an improved version of NCAA 14 the first time around. That's all they need to do.
Dude, I'm still an NBA 2K7 huge fan. 2007, dude.
Yeah. And on NCAA 14, you used to could create your own team and school and everything. So they totally are probably going to add that back now. But
I don't know if I like that.
No,
it's awesome. You start off as just like the worst school ever with
the Super Dragons. It's always like crazy mascots.
You start off with like the worst recruits ever. Like literally can't even hold the football. And you get to a point where you're like slowly winning games, so you can recruit better and better and better. And like a few seasons, you're actually competing, and then by the 10th season, you're like a freaking dynasty team. So it's fun.
Can you pick like what conference you go in?
Yes,
and stuff like that.
You can actually switch it. How it was in NCAA 14 is you could actually switch conferences at the end of a season. So you could start off in like the MAC conference and move up to the ACC, and then eventually go to the SEC or Big Ten or whatever.
That's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not for me, but for the college football enthusiast.
Oh, I'm pumped, dude.
Like yourself.
I cannot. I mean, I'm not even like a sports game guy, but I will buy this day one and put a crap ton of time into it for sure.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
So yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah, it's cool that's coming back.
Absolutely.
But let's get out of here, gentlemen.
Cool.
An honor as always, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and of course follow us on social media and send us questions any week, whether it's game related, movie related, TV related, world related, whatever you'd like to hear us talk about. Of course, we like everyone to feel like they're included in that conversation, so send them in. And this will be available on YouTube as well. I guess it doesn't matter if you're listening to it there because it's already there. But this show is available on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, all the big ones. So we thank you as always for tuning in. We apologize for the inconsistency, but life is pulling us in many different directions. But we're grateful that we can still get together from time to time and do this. And grateful to still have an audience that tunes in and enjoys it and interacts with us, because without you, we would be non-existent, truly. So thank you as always, and we look forward to hearing from you guys soon.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Later.